Okay, guys, welcome to, I guess, episode 1. Episode 0 was going to be training. Episode 1 of Deus Ex. I have to admit, my heart is kind of broken because I recorded about an hour and a half of the first mission here, and I read through every single log and every single diary entry, and I had great commentary and all this stuff. It was actually really good stuff. And it's gone because I wasn't recording. And I was afraid to check if I was recording because the last couple of times I did, the game just crashed on me. But honestly, that's what it goes to tell you. You just gotta check. So anyways, let's get into it. Let's do first mission of Deus Ex. I apologize if it's not going to be filled with a bunch of commentary. Hopefully the spirit and the enthusiasm will come back to me. But I'm a little peeved right now because I was pretty sure that so again, I had this like whole intro. I was talking about like the skill set, the play style we were going for. I was talking about political philosophy. Oh my god, so much stuff. And I'm so pissed because I was just talking to a blank screen this whole time. Or, I mean, no recording. What a waste of time. Oh my god, I'm so disheartened. I'm sorry, guys. But anyways, alright, so we have 2,000 skill points left. Training computer electronics. I'm gonna go for it. I like to hack. I like to do. Man, oh god, I had like so many things to say about this game before. Alright, I guess we're gonna do this. This is roughly the build we had last time.
Your appointment to FEMA should be finalized within the week. I've already discussed the matter.
I'm not gonna do much commentary over this. I'm gonna refill my drink and let you guys watch the cutscene. So enjoy.
Really have a choice.
Has he been infected?
Oh yes, most certainly. When I mentioned that we could put him on the priority list for the ambrosia vaccine, he was so willing it was almost pathetic.
This plague, the rioting is intensifying to the point where we may not be able to contain it.
Why contain it? Let it spill over into the schools and churches. Let the bodies pile up in the streets. In the end, they'll beg us to save them.
I've received reports of armed attacks on shipments. There's not enough vaccine to go around, and the underclasses are starting to get desperate.
Of course they're desperate. They can smell their death, and the sound they'll make rattling their cage will serve as a warning to the rest.
I hope you're not underestimating the problem. The others may not go as quietly as you think. Intelligence indicates they're behind the problems in Paris.
A bunch of pretentious old men playing at running the world. But the world left them behind long ago. We are the future.
We have other problems.
UNATCO?
Formed by executive order after the terrorist strike on the statue. I have someone in place, though. I'm more concerned about Savage. He's relocated to Vandenberg.
Our biochem corpus is far in advance of theirs, as is our electronic sentience. And their ethical inflexibility has allowed us to make progress in areas they refuse to consider.
The Augmentation Project?
Among other things, but I must admit that I have been somewhat disappointed in the performance of the primary unit.
The secondary unit should be online soon. It's currently undergoing preparation and will be operational within 6 months. My people will continue to report on its progress. If necessary, the primary will be terminated.
We've had to endure much, you and I, but soon there will be order again. A new age. Aquinas spoke of the mythical city on the hill. Soon that city will be a reality, and we will be crowned its kings. Not better than kings. Gods.
Okay, guys, we are at Liberty Island in New York. Once again, I'm paranoid that we're not recording, so we're going back in. We are recording.
NSF is raiding the island and shots have been fired. I repeat, find Paul. I will monitor your situation from
I forgot that there's RNG in the beginning here. It's not 100% like what you're gonna get. Like, you'll get those things for sure, but anyways. Okay, Paul.
Paul, I thought you were in Hong Kong. Welcome to the Coalition, JC. I might as well start using your code name. Think I'd miss my brother's first day? Didn't think you'd have a choice. What's going on? The NSF. They hit one of our shipments. A few of them got away, but we trapped the rest in the statue. What are we waiting for? Looks like a textbook assault. The NSF took one of our agents hostage. The bots are holding the perimeter, but my orders are to hold back and send you in alone. I think someone high up wants to see how you handle the situation. All I've got with me is a pistol and an electric prod. I don't mind a test, but UNATCO better issue some hardware. Remember that we're police. Stick with the prod. It'll stun your opponents or knock them unconscious. A non-lethal takedown is always the most silent way to eliminate resistance. Just in case, though, Manderley wants you to pick an additional weapon. A sniper rifle, a GEP gun, or a mini crossbow. The crossbow. Sometimes you've got to make a silent takedown. Good thinking. With these tranquilizer darts, you'll have another non-lethal way to take down an enemy in addition to the prod. I get the idea. What's the first move? I'm going to give you a map of the island. If you can get to the North Dock, a UNATCO informant will give you a key to the statue doors. He responds to the code phrase, iron and copper. You could avoid a lot of fighting, though, if you found a back way to the statue. I'll see how it looks on shore. Your primary objective is the makeshift command center the terrorists have installed at the top of the statue. But don't forget about Agent Herman. We think he's being held on the ground floor. What are my orders when I reach the command center? Interrogate the leader. We don't yet know why the terrorists would risk an open assault.
All right, guys. So we're gonna be starting this game. I do sometimes subconsciously wonder if or wonder if I subconsciously know that I'm not recording, and that's why I feel more natural, and the content is just much better because seriously, I was super proud of the commentary I've been putting out for the last Let's Play. I felt like it was pertinent. I felt it was interesting.
If you want to make a covert approach,
and
remember the Academy stealth course. Stay out of their field of view, walk slowly to stay quiet, and crouch behind cover. Or if you have to get your hands dirty, remember that a headshot is a lethal takedown.
Excuse me? Hold on. Please save the game. Alright, so I'm ready for these guys to go. I can't believe I have to do all this shit again. It's not just that, honestly, it's not the gameplay that bothers me. It's not like I didn't do that much stuff in the last, it's the fact that the commentary was so good. Oh my god, are you serious, dude? I was having here's the thing. I was having a great time. It was just a fun... It was just a fun Let's Play, and now I'm peeved, and I got to do this all over again, and there was a lot of relevant commentary too. Let's see if we can't sneak around this guy. So I'm going to try and give you guys the best broad strokes. So we are choosing the crossbow. Here's the thing. Warren Spector's been very vocal about the fact that one of the things he's most proud of with games like Deus Ex is that you can kind of play them however. And the way I always... See, I don't think he got me yet. I think he's... Yeah, we're good. I think. I don't know for sure. One of the things he's most proud of is the fact that you can kind of play the games however you want. If you want to go guns blazing, if you want to go stealthy, if you want to go whatever. But here's the thing. I think Deus Ex definitely has a specific flavor, and I don't know how true that is. Of course, I've never really been able to test it myself. And this playthrough, because once again, something that was emphatically communicated in the first recording of this was that I I've only played Deus Ex through one time before, and I had a totally different mindset when I played it, so I didn't really enjoy it that much, and I didn't really get it, so, yeah, there's definitely, so yeah, I didn't really get it, I didn't really enjoy it, I didn't really understand what the game was going for. Once again, oh my god, the commentary was so much better, guys. You know, because now I'm trying to focus on getting through this fast because I'm so sick of this shit. I don't want to do this right now.
Good thinking. You might be
Go
able
up
to
the ladder.
avoid some of the security by entering this way.
Here, go ahead and save again. And so I was gonna try, you know, I was like, you know what, if Deus Ex is really a game like that, you know what I'm gonna try? I'm gonna try like a, you know, bust through the door, guns blazing build. But then, you know what, I was like, you know what, I never played this game like an RPG before. You know, I never played this game as the kind of game where you have to, like, think about your choices and think about your actions and think about your character build or anything like that, and think about the narrative and you know, maybe talk, you know, learn about different characters. And I just don't think you're gonna get that experience if you go in guns blazing, because you're just gonna kill everybody. Everybody's gonna turn hostile, and you're not gonna get a chance to actually, like, confront any of the enemies for real. So I'm moving a little fast. I'm used to the timing on the last mission. The things I'm most pissed about are the fact I honestly, there's too much stuff to read to go through it all again. I'll do my best, guys. I may do it, I may not. But just the commentary, I was in such a good mood. I was having so much fun, like, playing with the game's systems and experience. Like, and here's the thing, you know. So I have to say, all right. And I said this in the previous recording that wasn't actually recorded, but I love Deus Ex, Human Revolution. I love Deus Ex Mankind Divided. I like Deus Ex Invisible War. But this game, for some reason, never clicked with me. And I just never got into it. But what I noticed was in the previous recording that never occurred because the fucking software wasn't actually recording, and I thought I had checked it, but I didn't, was that I was actually starting to understand what this game was about, and I was having fun with the mechanics and fun dicking around and fun doing all this stuff. So it finally started clicking for me, and that's what I'm hoping for with this playthrough, is that this is a game that it's never really been, like, at the top of my list, like, oh, it's really fun. I'm just kind of like, I'll play it because everyone says it's good and I'll check it out. But I'm hoping, and so far from what I've experienced in this playthrough, that's what we're getting. So I just want to communicate to you that this is, you know, I've only played it through once before, and I had a totally different mindset going into it. Kind of treated it like some sort of, like, tactical stealth game shooter thing, and didn't really treat it like an RPG or a game with a lot of open-endedness, and that was a big mistake. So what we're doing now is we're gonna try and change all that. Now, this is a precarious situation. This is not a good place. This is gonna be tough. The shit I pulled off last time.
Yeah, we thought I saw someone. I got this one.
Oh, we're just gonna run away. We're going for a no-kill run because I want to be a good guy, and I also want to give people as many opportunities as possible to redeem themselves or to open a dialogue with people, and you can't really do that when you've bored a 45 caliber hole through their head. So that's what we're gonna try. I think they've both been incapacitated. All right, so we're good right there. Let's go ahead and make a hard save here. As you can see, I have been playing the game for a little while already. I may put the episode 0 of this up, which is just the training, which is, in my opinion, actually fairly important. And another thing that it helped me do was get the controls totally down in a way that I feel comfortable with them. So we're going to go ahead and save again.
Good. You're nearing the command center. Agent Herman remains in captivity on the ground floor, but we can probably get him out. Keep moving.
Now, I'm guessing through some of the stuff that happened later in the game that if I emancipate Agent Herman right now, first of all. I don't need a 40 in here. I don't need soda. I don't even need binoculars. I'm going to put this here. I don't need the med kit in my fucking regular inventory. Lockpick we'll put here, crowbar here. The key is fine right there, and then we're going to put the gas grenade here. And this is the strategy I used last time.
Targeted a shipment of the plague vaccine Ambrosia. We can't locate it. See if the leader will surrender when you reach the command post. We'd like to interrogate him.
Okay. It bothers me that you can't save while they're talking to you. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and save.
Huh? That's it. He's
So I'm going to get the hell out of there. So that stunned them. It worked kind of the same as a stun grenade. It's a gas grenade, but it will... now they're incapacitated. I just got to wait for the gas cloud to dissipate. That's the strategy I used last time. And again, once again, the previous recording was much better because that was a novel idea. I hadn't tried it before, so the thrill of experimentation was present in everything that I did there, and also the thrill of possible failure. So hopefully we can recapture the magic with a subsequent... oh yeah, I forgot to loot these guys down here. I feel like this game is like a speedrunner's paradise, you know what I mean? Like, it just runs so fucking buttery smooth on modern OSs and modern hardware and everything with very little coaxing or anything. So... and unfortunately, I had some very impassioned speeches earlier that I'm not going to be able to replicate right now because... again, they were spur of the moment. And that's just not going to happen now. So that, I was discovering things spur of the moment. But again, I'll try to give you the broad strokes of what I learned, and I'll try and read through as much as I can, just for your own edification, you, the viewer. And I am pissed, and hopefully I'll just be more diligent when it comes to making sure that I've actually started recording when I thought I had started recording. But this is, I mean, anyone who's on YouTube, as far as I know, this is a common... this shit happens sometimes,
Easy. We want you to take this one alive and conscious. Find out what you can...
Don't shoot. I surrender.
So you think you know better than FEMA what to do with this month's Ambrosia shipment?
You're too late. It's on its way back to the people, and you can't do a damn thing about it.
Tell me about the shipment, and I'll order the troops to pick you up as a prisoner instead of a corpse.
Ask away. We already won this round.
Where are you taking it?
We're just giving ordinary people the same chance to survive as the bureaucrats in Washington.
You'll have to unload in New York because the choppers would spot you at sea.
I think the government made the plague on purpose to get rid of the population growth.
Well done. I will pass on your orders to the troopers. Report back to base on the west side of the island. Mission complete.
Just answer the question.
Don't believe me? It's all in the numbers. For 100 years, there's been a conspiracy of plutocrats against ordinary people.
Do you have a single fact to back that up?
Number one, in 1945, corporations paid 50% of federal taxes. Now they pay about 5%. Number two, in 1900, 90% of Americans were self-employed. Now it's about 2%.
So?
It's called consolidation. Strengthen governments and corporations, weaken individuals. With taxes, this can be done imperceptibly over time.
The chief finally let us loose. We were right behind you and cut through them like a hot knife through butter.
I guarantee you that the interrogation staff at UNACO will not be as forbearing as I am.
Yeah, the secret police. You're just bullies for a completely illegitimate government in Washington.
We will locate that shipment one way or another.
The entire executive branch is handpicked. 19 of the last 23 U.S. presidents have been members of the Trilateral Commission. The Trilateral Commission is financed by the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds. Don't tell me.
That's a think tank. Anyone can become a member.
But not everyone does. That's why they call it the secret government.
I'll take it from here.
You can't fight ideas with bullets.
So, broad strokes of... Let me give you a recap of what I talked about. So this guy... And let's go back to something. So, Warren Spector, when asked about this game, he said one of the proudest moments for him in terms of this game...
Lock this guy away for a long time.
...was he was at a gaming conference, right? And he had two fans arguing about... One fan said, like, oh, this is the most pro sort of left-wing argument game I've ever played. You know, it really speaks to the to what I believe politically. And then another fan was saying, what are you talking about? This is the most pro sort of libertarian / conservative small government argument I've ever heard. And this really, I think it really illustrates and outlines the issues that people have and blah, blah, blah. And so Warren Spector loved that because he loved the fact that the political message was, it was trying to say something, but the definitive political leanings of the game were obfuscated. I don't necessarily believe that, but of course maybe that's what Warren Spector likes, is that it was obfuscated intentionally, or they weren't intentionally trying to say anything, and yet they were. But I don't believe that. But here's the thing. So what this guy's talking about, he's talking about basically here's an issue that I've noticed with modern politics, especially right-leaning politics, is that
I'll take it from here.
People on the right tend to end up sort of being corralled into supporting large-scale corporate interests. And what this guy is actually talking about here,
I'll take it from here,
is the fact that if you look at right-wing politics, and again, as I said in the previous episode, you need to define your terms, and I'm not really going to define right term, but let's suffice it to say, let's go with this: libertarian politics, and not the party, not the U.S. Libertarian Party, but let's talk about libertarianism, basically extremely conservative government and substantial promotion of individual autonomy and individual liberty, right? That is undermined not only by government, but also by any significant consolidation of power. And what are large-scale corporations like? Look at Disney. I mean, they own, like, what, 2/3 of all the entertainment companies in the entire United States, which might as well be well, maybe not now, but at some point in time, it might as well have been the world, because most entertainment was flowing out of the U.S. Now they own 2/3 of it, which includes news agencies, and it's just like, which is the press and journalism, and it's like, okay, well, they can essentially control the narrative. Whoever is running Disney can essentially control the narrative through propaganda and whatever, and that's a consolidation of power, and that undermines individual autonomy and individual liberty, and that's what this guy's talking about. So you could view it as a left-wing argument or a right-wing argument, and you'd be right, I guess, to some extent in both ways. And it's something that I've noticed in right-wing politics, like libertarian or conservative politics, is that we need to be wary of just sort of blindly supporting corporate interests, you know, just because if you're on the right, for example, and you might believe in free market capitalism, does not mean that you need to just be like, well, corporations should just do whatever they want. You know, it's a free market. You know, you shouldn't just immediately take that stance. It's I feel like certain political movements are engineered to get people who are more conservative or more libertarian to take that mentality or observe that mentality, and that can be very dangerous. So, and I think that this game is already pointing out stuff like that, and I'll read some stuff later and we'll get into that further. That I think, honestly, for 2020, this is a fantastic game to be playing in 2020. I mean, there's a massive pandemic that is sweeping the globe, and it was engineered in a laboratory, which, by the way, as far as I remember from what we've been learning about of COVID didn't just spring, COVID-19, I mean, didn't just spring up, right? It was actually bioengineered in a laboratory, and it got out. Whether it got out by accident or through by design, we don't know. We can make assumptions, but it was artificially, and the Gray Death in this game is an artificial construct. You know? And why is it an artificial construct? Because it allows the government to wield power. In this game, the pandemic is deadly enough that they can wield power by restricting access to the vaccine to basically hold ransom vulnerable political targets and say, like, all right, well, if you want the vaccine, you're going to have to do what we want you to do. Whereas in today's society, honestly, I believe if you look at the death rate for COVID, right? If you look at the death rate, I don't think it's significant enough for us to be instituting the kind of measures that are being instituted. You know, basically, most seasonal flus have a higher kill rate. This affects more people, sure, because the transmission factor is much higher. The proportionality of transmission is much higher. The transmission rate is much higher. The transmission of the virus is much higher. Absolutely. So I understand that. But, so technically you're talking about more deaths overall. But, you know, with a virus with this kind of survival rate, you know, these lockdowns and all these things that they're trying to do, honestly, if you look at what the government is saying, it's not about trying to help anybody. It's not about trying to ensure people are safe or healthy or anything. It's about they see an opportunity to wield more power, to wield more influence, and they're going to take it. And that's what they're doing. By the way, I did a lot more exploring than the last time I did this, but I forget what this was. Oh, you know what? And this game sort of parallels that, and we'll be getting into some of the parallels that this game talks about in a second here. Brother, instead of turrets and cameras in the statue ruins, hasty defense. Okay, security unit NSF-001, smash the state. Okay, I do remember that from, I don't know, 30 minutes ago when I did this. Okay, so we got NSF-001 and smash the state. Camera status, okay. Doors unlocked, door open. There we go. If I remember correctly, there's only, all there is wine in here. Which, as I said in the last stream, I started drinking wine when I played this because this game is about uncovering the truth and in vino veritas, as they say. So, I thought it was appropriate. Okay, some of my good-natured attitude about this game is coming back. What else was I gonna? Oh, I think there's another. Oh, you know what? Okay, here's what we gotta do. Here's what we gotta do, guys, to fully explore. Or did we miss it already? I think we missed it. Did we miss it? Yeah, we missed it. Did we? I can't find it now. I don't remember. There was a vent that we could crawl through. Don't remember trying to go over here. Oh, you know, I know where it is. Never mind. Hold on. Hold on, we're gonna get there. Aha! There we go. There we go. Let's go ahead and... I wish you could... It's a thing that bugs me. You can remap a lot of the keys. You can't remap this augment, the light augment. It's always F12. And I like to play in the dark. I feel more immersed. It's just like it's like a holistic approach to just the game. So I like to play in the dark, and when you play in the dark, you're not... it's a little hard to see the keyboard. Now, I have a keyboard with RGB and all that stuff, and I should probably be using it, but honestly, my muscle memory is so used to this keyboard. Okay, 23002. Oh, I forgot. I totally wrote this down too, so I don't know why I'm freaking out about. So here's what we're doing. We're just having fun, or at least what I'm doing, is I'm just having fun with the role-playing aspect of this game. And that's something that was really missing for me in the first time I played this game. Like I said, I just tried to play as a sort of like tactical stealth game and action game, and I was just like, why am I being stuck in all these conversations all the time? You need to just like play it as like, okay, this is just a sandbox of possibilities for me to just explore, and that's what you got to play it like. Just heal a little bit more. Actually, what is my health like? 60 out of, well, that's certainly better than last time. It was like a death's door the last time I tried this, but all right. So account number. We wrote it down, 230023. Okay, and the PIN number is 4558. We're gonna log in, and I know we're being kind of a dick about this, but we're gonna take all their money. Oh, and sorry, that was about husband wanting to meet his wife for their anniversary at the Statue of Liberty because that's where they met. Apparently, they were probably UNATCO security force personnel who worked here together. Sorry. Once again, I mean, it's not going to be as in-depth as I would have loved it to be because I just spent an hour and a half playing this, just like back-to-back right now, and I'm, you know, my eye is twitching. That's how angry I am that I have to do all this shit again. I'm just going to nip some stuff in the bud here so we don't have to waste time doing it. But I think we are going to try and do as much of the reading as possible because it really, again, I have a lot to say about how prophetic this game is and how relevant it is to what's going on today. And this game sort of, because, you know, it was made by people who were smart and sort of like understood what was going on at the time and sort of extrapolated. But even if this was like cyberpunk dystopian, like, holy crap, this is the worst case scenario, it's kind of like amazing that they still were so accurate. Like, okay, Blade Runner is amazing, but how accurate is it to what we're actually seeing in 2019? Not very, but this game gave itself quite a bit of leeway, and they're just like, well, let's make it like, I don't know, like 2075. And the stuff that this game predicts is happening now, you know, maybe 20 years after the game came out rather than 50 or 70. So it's quite amazing.
Why the hell'd I come here if no one needs my help? I found a back way into the statue, but I'm sure UNATCO appreciates your dedication. I've been standing here for an hour. I better get paid for this. You'll have to bring that up with Manderley.
One thing I pointed out before is that one of the reasons this game is so well remembered and so revered is that, like, stuff like that, like, this is an NPC that you're supposed to get intel from at the beginning of the mission to break into the statue easier. But if you break into it and resolve the conflict without him, he gets annoyed. And the fact that the NPC dialogue will change based on what you do was a huge fucking deal at the time. And honestly, isn't always, still to this day, is often overlooked in games. That your actions and how they influence the NPCs should be taken into consideration. Let's go ahead and save again, and we're gonna do something not super fun. Let's jump into the water. Let's do it, boys. I knew I should have invested all my skill points into swimming. Alright, so alright, let's go back down. Now, swimming isn't a terrible skill in some instances, because it's just like you do need to get down here and do stuff, right? Sorry guys, I you know, foreknowledge, I did all this before. Oh, I can pick up the shotgun now because I didn't pick up 20 bags of Doritos yet. Please don't die before we hit the surface. Oh, we're so close. Holy crap. Alright, we need to get to that med bot in the med bay, like, immediately. Let's go ahead and turn our lamp off. gonna need this lamp if I'm gonna get out of this slimy mud hole. Mud hole? Slimy? My home this is. That was an awful reference. So again, guys, the previous playthrough of this was so much more entertaining. Like, honestly, I would have been like very happy to watch it myself. Even though I was the one doing it, I would have been like, oh, this is great. I love this. There's a little bit less wasted time in this one because I know where I'm going, what I'm doing. And as I said in the training bit, there's nothing like knowing the controls inside and out of a game and just having, like, you don't even have to think about it. You just know how to do whatever. And I'm not at that level yet with Deus Ex, but I'm getting there. Getting there. It's not quite like Thief for me yet, but I'm getting there. Let's talk to Paul. He's just a talkative one. He just loves to talk.
The leader surrendered, so they were after Ambrosia. A month's supply for the East Coast. We think they've taken it back to the city. I didn't know UNATCO handled the Ambrosia distribution. Manderley will brief us shortly. UNATCO makes sure the limited supply of vaccine gets to government agencies and key industries. It's good to finally see some action. Just keep a level head. You're doing well so far. Now get inside. I'll meet you in Manderley's office, level 2.
Sorry guys, I had to grab some more vino in which there is Veritas, and also there was a cutscene, so I figured. So this is something I did prior. I knew this code, well I didn't know it, but I guessed it. It's not hard to find the evidence that that is in fact the code. Multi-tools are always good to have. And again, I'm going for sort of, like, much like if you guys watched my Thief Gold playthrough, I'm interested in exploring, I'm interested in finding every other possible avenue for exploration and for resolution to different conflicts in the game. Satcom and UNATCO-00 or subscript 001. Excuse me, UNATCO subscript. Okay, there we go. Whoop, hold on. Satcom, UNATCO. There we go. So, door access locked. It's unlocked, and we're going to open it. And let's turn the cameras off so they can't tell what we're doing. In case anyone gets pissed that we're grabbing this. So yeah, sorry, that's what this says. Van camera system login, same as old login. Satcom, new password, UNATCO. PS, we will beat you at darts on Saturdays, suckers. Yeah, sorry. I'm injecting less personality into the world this time because I just want to move on to a new mission. Because I did all this. Like, honestly, I was here for, I think, I'm being conservative. I was here for like 2 hours. I read every single little piece of text. I had every little, like, you know, I dicked around and messed with a bunch of stuff. It was fun. I had a lot of fun. I don't know if we're going to need this. I'll drop it in my office in case it stays there. It probably won't stay there.
Way to go, sir.
Alright, so let's get into UNATCO headquarters.
Get
Again,
inside. I'll meet you in Manderley's office.
I'm sorry I'm rushing through this, but
I hear you just slipped by a lot of the terrorists. Pretty smart.
let's go ahead and save again here. Let's read some newspapers. Meade bucks Congress, APR, Washington, D.C. Defying Congress for the third time this year, President Meade unilaterally paid the United States late dues to the United Nations. Like good tenants, we must pay our rent on time, he told reporters. Leaders of both parties criticized the move. Where does he get the cash? Asked Senator Ryden, D. Illinois. Clearly from some budget item yet to be approved by the Congress. The Republicans were no kinder. The council member has been betrayed, and so has America, said Senator Osno Liverpool, R. California. The Congress came together to approve a UNATCO presence in U.S. soil, but we did not write a blank check. No, sir, a superpower does not pay rent. I'm going to turn that lamp on. It says, Shannon, ammunition is... So this is what the code is. We're changing the code from the new comm van to the helipad, new code 0451 Alex.
I was in your class at the academy. You probably don't remember.
Of course I remember you, Lloyd.
Manderley's office is on level 2. He's expecting you.
You know what else I remember? I remember you like trophies.
I've got to watch the doors.
So many
You're
trophies.
just kidding around, right?
No, I'm not kidding around. Take this vase. Vase.
Check in with Manderley on level 2.
So I'm gonna go ahead and save again. And I'm actually gonna check the recording. We are recording. Okay, so here's kind of the catch-22 with Deus Ex, is that,
Hell of a long shift.
sorry about that.
The retinal scanner can read blood vessel patterns right here.
Apparently, so that's why I'm so paranoid about the recording, but here's the thing, I can't check it without fucking with the, potentially crashing the stream, but it's better to know that it's recording than to assume that it is and then...
Level 2. His secretary, Janice Reed, has your login and password.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna go in my office anyways.
You found your office. Did Janice give you your login? I guess not. Let's see. JCD, password, Bionic Man.
Okay.
Your partner for the next assignment, Anna Navarra, is in the adjoining break room to the east. Maybe you should introduce yourself.
Excuse me? God. Turn this lamp on. I don't know why everyone likes it so dark around here. You'd think they'd be doing nefarious things.
Are you sure you pressed the right button?
I do not make mistakes of that kind.
Your hand might have slipped.
No, I wanted orange. It gave me lemon lime.
The machine would not make a mistake.
It's the maintenance man. He knows I like orange.
So you think the staff has some kind of plot?
Yes, they do that on purpose.
My new partner, J.C. Denton. Don't tell me you're going to wear those sunglasses during a night operation.
My vision is augmented.
Better to look good than to have the distractions of another agent who needs backup.
Forgive my interruption. I just wanted to say that I look forward to working with you, Agent Navarra. Also, excuse me, I've got to be briefed by Mr. Manderley.
I do not expect you to perform as well as Agent Herman, but the mission will require us to do more than frighten the NSF with our baggy coats that make us look bigger than we really are.
I am prepared to perform my duties.
For instance, not to wipe out the enemy and then leave agents still captured in a locked cell.
No problem.
I am not going to hold your...
You will be working with Anna Navarra.
Okay, guys. Let's go ahead and save here. I'm gonna have to splice so many episodes together just to make sure I'm actually recording.
I am not going to hold your hand.
Oh, get out of my way.
You have your orders.
So, actually, first things first. Let's go heal, because we're totally screwed right now, health-wise.
Before the briefing, you've got to go to level 3 for your equipment and a medical examination. See Jaime Ray is in the med center and Sam Carter in the armory.
Let's go ahead and... Actually, let's go health. Heal all. Augmentations. I think we went with this one. Install. Because we're not going to be doing any... Oh god, was that the right one? Oh yeah, we want to lift heavy objects. That's better than whatever the hell else they were going to offer us. So guys, get prepared, get ready for a whole lot
I have to
of reading.
prepare for the
It's going to
mission.
be a ton. Okay. Alright, first things first. UNATCO Handbook. Welcome to UNATCO. Classification. The UN has 9 levels of security above top secret. The manual and all material that is not otherwise marked is classified as Angel-/OA. If you are not Angel/OA or above, report immediately to your superior or supervisor or face disciplinary action. Other classifications will be explained upon reaching higher clearance. In its efforts to combat terrorism, the UN has created UNATCO, the swift deployment of a coordinated force to counteract any insurgent operations. You are justifiably proud to be part of this organization. Your physical capabilities place you within the upper 1% of national ground combat units, while your mental capabilities have been honed to sharpness by the UNATCO Academy. But as part of your part of a larger organization, you also understand the necessity to heed orders from your superiors without hesitation. Your superiors are typically briefed on matters for which you may not be cleared. Oh yeah, and hesitation on part of an agent can result in the serious impairment of mission objectives and attendant casualties. UNATCO has faith in you, and this faith will be rewarded in due time as your operational capacities are increased. Brave the darkness, for you carry the torch of freedom. In carrying out their duties, UNATCO agents often come into contact with the public. You are a peacekeeper, and your first objective is to safeguard human life. Though terrorists may see an advantage in harming civilians, UNATCO agents do not. Issue a warning before firing at a suspect, and always instruct bystanders to get down on the ground. Refrain from firing into large crowds. Every civilian hurt is collateral damage. However, keep in mind that no civilian with clearance below Angel-OA/OA should be trusted and may be a potential spy. Anyone can be a spy, and secrecy is our ally. Remember, we are all in this together. I wonder where I've heard that before during this pandemic. JCD, Bionic Man. There we go. J. Reyes. Subject, greetings and nanotech briefings. Hey JC, guess I'll have to get used to calling you JC around the office. Not sure where they came up with that, but at least they gave you the same last code name as your brother. Anyways, whatever they're calling you, it's good to see a familiar face on the roster. My first job here has been to read up on your augmentations. I'm beginning to see why you found classes so easy. Every neuron in your head has been augmented. For example, the voice in your head from an operator, someone here at HQ, able to handle the scanning equipment in your skull and broadcast advice over your infolink, leaps fully formed right into your temporal lobe, bypassing the eardrum and its sensory neurons. And it's perfectly inaudible to everyone around you, of course. Not to mention that the nanites clinging to your axons can both receive and transmit symbolic information, so if you ever need help, don't sweat it. Someone at HQ probably already knows. Come by if you want to hear more. This is great stuff, Jamie. And as I said in the previous stream or whatever, that seems a bit intrusive that they have full sort of real-time access to your thoughts and emotions. Subject, nano augmentation and you. I was asked by the regional medical coordinator to forward this information to all of you. I do so without further comment, Dr. Reyes. By now you've heard about the upcoming transition to nano augmentation. It's coming, but not as soon as you think. UNATCO is only one nano augmented agent, with a second just now graduating from the academy. It will be years before the program leaves the laboratory. Your mechanical augmentations are not obsolete. Some agents express concern that they will be walking junk in 10 years. One agent expressed their fears in an anonymous email saying, "We will be sold at flea markets, old gray golems for scaring the children. So what about my legs? What about my life?" Keep some perspective. Prosthetics remain the only proven technology for enhancing human abilities. Those who make the sacrifice are appreciated, commended, and saluted as heroes. Once again, this is a lot of this sort of backstory and story building and lore building is where largely the Deus Ex Mankind Divided and Deus Ex Human Revolution, the plot for those two prequels, was born out of, which I do appreciate that they really checked some of the source material here to develop plots. Subject, nano-augmentation stressors. Nano-augmented agents will often encounter stress created by resentment among fellow agents, particularly those who have been mechanically augmented. In an effort to secure freedom and liberty for those under their protection, many UNATCO agents have chosen to sacrifice social acceptance for mission performance by surgically replacing limbs and organs with mechanically or electronically enhanced equivalents, but your nano-augmentations point the way to the future, thousands of microscopic, living organic machines that exist in symbiosis with your body. Interesting that there are organic machines as well. But I have some textbooks actually on organic nanotechnological machines, which are pretty interesting. So, but they're not super advanced. They're basic mechanical machines. They don't do a whole lot of interesting stuff yet, but the engineering of it is fascinating. Anyways, and of course the social acceptance issue, I think they looked at stuff like this and they expounded upon it and to make the general backdrop for the prequel games. Because such augmentations create only minimal disfigurement, they are likely to be a source of friction between you and other mechanically augmented agents, but it is important to understand that UNATCO is an organization where individuals must act in concert. Each is important to the whole, and mutual understanding is essential to teams comprised of diverse human and augmented agents. If you have any further questions or wish to discuss these issues, please feel free to send an email to What's-His-Face to make an appointment, and welcome to UNATCO, Agent. So that's my computer. UNATCO Handbook. UNATCO and the world. For far too long, terrorists have exploited international tensions and regional legislative variations to elude authorities. A significant step was made towards eliminating these legal loopholes when the U.S. President Philip Riley Meade lobbied Congress to make the U.S. a UNATCO member nation. Enough is enough, he declared in his landmark State of the Union address, and the citizens of the United States responded with enthusiastic endorsement of his position. Not only did the United States become a charter member of UNATCO, but UNATCO headquarters are now located on Liberty Island in the shadow of the shattered monument to freedom. UNATCO deals not only with terrorist threats, but also any transgressions of international legal code, including drug trafficking, software piracy, and money laundering. With the full support of the United States, UNATCO was for the first time able to truly declare itself the world's policeman. The U.S. World Police? No. That's just ridiculous.
Madely says sit out this one. I am filing another protest.
Midnight Sun. Mead from Mars, Cape Canaveral. NASA scientists confirmed that the eroded remains of the Alba Patera crater on Mars precisely match the face of President Meade. It's him, declared senior planetary specialist Kevlar Umla. His name is Kevlar. There's his nose, that ridge, see the crater rim making his hairline? The way he combs his hair, appearing in the region of this region of parallel valleys? The White House had no comment. However, Martin Wisdom, president of EA, Enemies of Aliens, told Midnight Sun, "This is the evidence we've been looking for." Hold on, I gotta try to do the Alex Jones voice. "This is the evidence we've been looking for. A warning that Mr. Bean is not human. He's probably a Martian general, a war hero, come here to conquer the Earth with the assistance of the United Nations." Oh my god. That's hurting the back of my throat. Right. Ryan Allen, staff writer. Holy shit. I screwed my throat up. I can't do an Alex Jones, guys. I did my best. Here's the public access. So, banking terminal. Let's go ahead and save, because I want to hack this. I did this last time. Wasn't an issue. Hack. Oh, here we go. 150. Let's. Oh, excuse me. 150. Oh, we're so screwed. We're so screwed. We got it. Sweet. Alright, you guys ready for a shitload more reading? Okay, here we go. Terrorism, crime or conscience? The question must be asked, is the global rise of terrorism a haphazard response to a decimated economy, or is it a pattern? Does UNATCO face coordinated ideological opposition? Some groups, Silhouette in France for instance, have declared a meme war, or war of meanings in their terminology. And something I sort of talked about in the last stream, I'm going to try and preface it as much, or not preface it, I'm going to try to skim it as much as possible, is that when we're talking about memes, meme was something, I can't remember if it was an academic conference or in a series of papers, that the idea was put forth that much like genes in genetics are sort of individual expressions that survive or die based on their relevance, or not even their relevance, but just their ability to be passed on through whatever circumstance. Memes are the what would be the correct term? Memes are the intellectual equivalent. So whatever ideas, whatever philosophies, whatever ideologies will have a sort of, they will be expressed as memes, and those through natural selection of, and the free market of ideas will be passed down depending on external circumstances and all sorts of things. So natural selection doesn't always win out. Well, I guess it does always win out, but there are factors that impact natural selection that don't necessarily equate to survival of the fittest. You see what I'm saying? I think a great example of this is the movie Idiocracy, where they talk about the fact that, well, okay, if stupid people, for example, if stupid people don't care about birth control and they just fuck all the time, then they're going to reproduce in numbers that are going to rival people who are intelligent. And so basically the societal influences are going to impact the genetic makeup of tomorrow. And so you might actually have a higher population of people who are so the majority of people would be sub average intelligence of what we would see, I don't know, maybe like 50 years prior. And so that's what the whole movie's about. It's just the probability of people of lower IQs and lower intellectual capacities reproducing at accelerated rates goes way up given the current structure of our society. And so we're actually trending toward, so natural selection would tell us that, oh, well, the most intelligent would survive, right? Okay, maybe in a purely like survival situation, but we're not in that anymore. Scarcity is it hasn't been eliminated, but it's been severely reduced. So it introduces all sorts of other issues into our the way things like genes and things like that are going to be expressed. And so memes are kind of memes are basically the idea, intellectual, I don't want to say property, intellectual commodity equivalent, commodity equivalent of genes. And that's where the term comes from. So when we're talking about memes here, we're not actually talking about like the comedic memes that we see every day. But that's not to say that that's discounted, because dissemination of general feelings, general attitudes, and general ideas, and even whole political movements has been orchestrated through memes. If you look at Trump supporters in America from 2016 to now, for anyone who's watching this has been recorded in November of 2020, and the election results have not been decided yet. We don't really know who the president is, regardless of what the media says. This is an apolitical statement, by the way. I'm trying to be as apolitical as I can on this channel. This is an apolitical statement, but it is fact that the electors have not voted, and there are still many states outstanding, states that could potentially be flipped. We don't know, so we don't know who the president is, or who the president of the United States is at this time. Also, by the way, the president of the United States is not the emperor of the universe. His election does not control not only the fate of the world or the fate of the country. What has more to do with where the country is going is your local and congressional elections, which, by the way, many of those have not been decided either at this point in time. The only reason I bring that up is to illustrate that to talk about what's going on currently is that from 2016 to now, Trump's supporters, especially the youth, and in the age ranges of from probably 15 to the demographic of probably 15 to 35, 15 to 40, that demographic, a lot of the consensus, how do you pronounce the word? Holy shit! Yeah, I've been drinking too much. I had a little too much wine. consensus ideas that are being disseminated through that political demographic, and a lot of the attitudes and a lot of the terminology, a lot of the general idea of what the platform is being disseminated through largely memes. And I don't mean memes in the context of what this email in this game says. I mean memes in the context of like the comedic memes that we read every day and we have fun with, you know? So while this email in this game is talking about dissemination of information and political ideas and stuff like that through the sort of academic notion of memes, I don't think it excludes the memes that we know today. But anyways, have declared a meme war. And by the way, we have talked about me. Look, this is 2001. There was no Pepe the Frog. There was no fucking overly attached girlfriend. Man, that really dates me. I'm such a boomer saying that. There was no Doge. There was none of this shit in 2000 when this game launched. And honestly, most of this dialogue was probably written in 1999. Okay, so none of this shit was present then, and they're still talking about meme wars and a war of meanings and terminology. They spread email and pamphlets that lampoon the UN's proposal for a one-world democracy, again, something that we talk about consistently in modern politics. A tedious exercise in rudimentary propaganda. With sophistries and doublespeak, they portray freedom as obedience, democracy as tyranny, and UNACO as the perpetrator of terrorism, an idea as shocking as it is reprehensible. Other organizations, such as the self-proclaimed Revolutionary National Secessionist Forces, NSF, and in the U.S. claim allegiance to the meme war, but are in fact no better than common criminals. They desire territory and wealth at the expense of society at large. Their civil war is merely a smokescreen for criminal activity. Any population can be quickly turned against such revolutionaries simply by educating them about the UN's policies and goals. That seems like totalitarian dogma right there. Any population can be turned against their own interests by educating them about the UN or by the occupying forces' policies and goals. Terrorism, threat profiling, symbolic attacks, the Statue of Liberty bombing, the desecration of the Soviet War Memorial in Berlin, and the department store shooting. Again, look at this. This was before widespread open-air shootings especially in the U.S., in public places like malls. Well, it's not like there was never anything before like this, because obviously they're referencing history, but this is becoming a part of our everyday life, of course, at which at some point a large portion of the population, could be a minority, possibly a majority, is going to step in and say we need to do something about this. Department store shooting sprees on Orchard Road in Singapore are the recourse of the weak. They serve only to call attention to a group or cause that is of no more than marginal interest to the public. And as I said in my last bit, you guys didn't see because it didn't record, this part is true. They usually serve a marginal cause. Most of the mass shooters in recent American history have been nut jobs. With their politics are just so convoluted and ridiculous. They actually don't serve any major end. They don't have any sort of real allegiance. They're just crazy people that work themselves up into a frenzy, and their politics so they are extremely marginalized because they're not really part of any sort of large scale political movement either. It's not as if they're sort of like doing this in the name of an ideology that anyone else could comprehend, because their ideology is so personalized and tailored to their specific mentality and view of the world. So I do sort of agree with that statement. But what distinguishes true terrorist activity is its gradual escalation towards genuine acts of war. Fringe groups now have access to technology that allows direct assaults on governments, including the classic trio of nuclear, biological, or chemical weaponry, NBC. The classic trio, I mean, I guess in the terms of the year of this game, maybe that's become a classic trio, but we have tried to limit the proliferation and use of those weapons significantly, so I don't know if they're a classic trio. But aside from direct assaults on a nation, on its people, indirect attacks can cause considerable collateral damage. Rogue software can disrupt financial markets, communications, and military operations, while encryption programs allow terrorists to coordinate smuggling operations in secret right over the net. Drugs, guns, illegal immigrants, and even heavy weapon heavy equipment such as armored vehicles and cruise missiles are routinely traded across borders, aided and abetted by such software. UNACO, the first organization with the technology, manpower, and authority to cope with such threats, is an idea that is long overdue. Joseph Manderley, Director, UNACO. Know your enemy, NSF. The National Secessionist Forces, NSF, remain a very real and increasingly widespread terrorist threat. And this is what the plot for Deus Ex thickens. Check this out. This is what's going on in the U.S. in Deus Ex. 10 years ago, in response to the Sporting Weapons Act of 2042, by the way, splinter groups of nearly every state militia refused to surrender their rifles, grenades, landmines, and other collectibles, quote-unquote, prohibited by the act. Here's where we get some interesting stuff. There's clearly an interjection of a liberal mentality here, where they're sort of mocking the fact that people don't want to give up their, quote, collectibles here. That they don't want to give these up because whatever, you know, like, why does any sane person need all that shit, right? But then you also get a even interjection of sort of libertarian politics, where it's just like, well, clearly the U.S. is trending in the lore of Deus Ex at this point. It's trending towards a police state that is being run by the UN. Really, the U.S. president is a puppet for the UN, so they weren't necessarily wrong. And they're going to need those arms to wage war. And I guess, again, the guy that we just talked to at the top of the Liberty Tower, he was talking about the slow, what did he call it? Plutocrat takeover of the U.S. government and the U.S. as a whole, through taxation and consolidation of corporate power. So, I mean, and here's the other thing. This is a very real threat, too, in today's modern U.S. politics. I do apologize for any of the European viewers who are checking this out. I don't mean just European. I mean people outside of the U.S. political spectrum, who are checking this Let's Play out, who may not understand firsthand, but this is a very real possibility, right? The Second Amendment is a very big deal in the United States. The right to own weapons is a very big deal in the United States, and to expect that people would just give over their weapons freely just because, especially if the UN came in and say you have to do it, trust me on this, that's not going to go down well. There will be violence if something like that occurs. So the fact that the entire founding of the NSF in this case was a result of sweeping gun legislation backed by the UN, backed by UN force, is a very real possibility. And again, this was a game again that was the writing for this was implemented in 1999. We're 20 years later, and it's even more real than it was in 1989. 1989 it was kind of like, oh, this is kind of like a cyberpunk like dystopia, like wouldn't it be crazy if, but it's just like, that's kind of like our present day reality. Holy shit. Anyways, continuing, by the act, unified under the charismatic leadership of Leon Woods, these isolated fanatics eventually formed the NSF, with Woods assuming the rank of general. Their intended goal, the liberation of Washington, Montana, Oregon, and Northern California. So, as I said, they're looking for the Pacific Northwest, roughly, with some inland territory, trying to secede that. While Woods died during his infamous last stand in 2045, his war machine continues what can only be termed an occupation of the United States, aided by an encrypted network designed by dissident computer scientists from San Francisco and Seattle. Currently, UNACO Cryptography Division has had minimal success in cracking their communications, requiring more direct intelligence gathering techniques to be utilized. The UN has declared war on the NSF. Jeez, I mean, look, the U.S. is completely splintered in like total secession of states. That's civil war, perpetrated by the NSF over gun legislation. This is something that's actually on the books, guys. This is something that's actually possible in our current political climate in the United States. So just keep that in mind, how prophetic this game has been. Know Your Enemy Silhouette, famous for inserting 20th century style commercials into the net broadcast of the World Cup in 2050. Silhouette favors feats of spectacle over violence. Printed circuits, part of this nutritious breakfast, the announcer told children in one of the World Cup commercials. You ain't mech till you eat mech. A mech boy chews a memory chip. Boys who eat organics get stomped by their post-human classmates. Mech boys in UNACO helmets and metal boots turns kicking another boy. So yeah, we're seeing here terrorist organization exhibiting resistance against the idea of a one world police force or a one government military. Despite their numerous pranks, these intellectual artists and labor organizers pose a serious threat. They are well armed and have been linked to the murders of numerous European politicians and journalists. They do not hesitate to use lethal force. The triads. UNACO surveillance of Hong Kong is currently a high priority given the renewed threat of Chinese organized crime in the form of the triads. Despite being a model of prosperity and technological leadership for decades, Hong Kong persists as a haven for organized crime. The triads, namely the Luminous Path and Red Arrow, vie for control of the 10 trillion credit shipping business, much of which supplies Greater Asia with pirated technology, illegal drugs, and weapons. Most disturbing of all, the triads preach an ethic of techno-piracy that has found enthusiastic support among small shopkeepers and businessmen who often aid the gangsters and buy their bootleg software. Gullible and greedy, this army of middlemen remains insensitive to how their violations of intellectual property and copyright laws damage the global information economy. UNACO operatives have identified over 1,250 terrorist organizations active in the world today, some too small to currently present a serious threat, but all eager to see one or more governments topple. Groups such as the Templars, Europe, and X-51 Western US will be dealt with in subsequent volumes of Know Your Enemy. Well, that was a mouthful. Holy crap. And I sincerely hope we're recording. You know what? I'm just going to check because I'm going to kill myself if we're not. Okay, guys. What the fuck? I think that's maybe a nope. Seriously?
Come on in. The retinal scanner can read blood vessel patterns right through your sunglasses.
I have no idea what's going on, guys. Sorry. Let me just check.
Get your checkup on level 3, and let's get going.
We did a bunch. Oh my god, what the fuck is going? There's something. Oh my fucking Christ. There's something seriously wrong here.
Get your checkup on level 3, and let's get going.
Before the briefing, you've got to go to level 3 for your equipment and a medical examination. See Jaime Reyes in the Med Center and Sam Carter in the Armory.
Well, I did some reading, so... See, this is what I'm saying. I did all this. What the fuck, dude? I pressed quick save. Like, I think... Once again, this is my issue with playing some of these old games, is, especially when you're trying to do the recording software, it fucks with stuff. So, thankfully, most of what I did was reading, which the game doesn't really care if I did or didn't do.
How unprofessional.
Yeah, the big joke in the one time I did it before was just like, oh, it's inequality that they get the house plant in here, so I'm gonna throw it out there.
That was a close one up there.
And you know what? I guess I thought I was okay because I just did it again there, but it was spur of the moment. It was like natural when I did it before. Now it's just like I'm just recreating shit. You know, I just want to get past this level and just confirm that I'm recording shit and that the game is actually saving. So pissed off right now. I gotta tell you guys, like, these frustrations with just, like, I don't know why it's so difficult. The recording software just records what's on the screen, and I don't know why it has to interfere with how the game works.
Shot at. Not one bit.
You know? Really pissing me off. Wasting a shitload of time.
At ease, Agent Denton.
General Carter, I read about the Merced operation in school. This is a great honor.
I'm not a general anymore. Just call me Carter.
I can't believe what the NSF did to your family.
Enough of that, soldier. We each have our troubles. I lost my children, but you had to grow up without your parents, which requires more courage. I don't think it matters.
My parents died in a car accident. That's different.
I said that's enough. You have your own op and time is short. How about I issue you a stealth pistol?
That sounds fine. Thank you, sir.
What else do you think you'll need?
Oh, I'm gonna take, I'll take the nanotech tool.
Tech tool.
A man who uses his head.
It's just a multi-tool.
Now move
Just
out.
make it
Handle
clear
this
what I'm asking for. But multi-tools are good. I remember I fucked with Anna Navarro, just so you guys can see
I have to prepare for the mission.
all the brilliant gameplay that you missed.
A little more decorum, please.
Well, she said something different than last time.
Way to go, sir.
Everyone's so proud of me here. Let's try this. Can we save? Yeah, I don't know why it wasn't saving before. What the fuck is... Hold on. Load game. Quick save. Let's load the game. Alright, that's where we were.
Way to go, sir.
I don't know what was going on before. Maybe I just forgot to say. I mean, it's not like, again, the game doesn't care if I read stuff or not. It's not gonna, like, it's for my own edification. So if I've read it, that's fine. I just want to make sure it's being recorded and it's, you know. So we read everything there. Let's go talk to what's-his-face, Menderly. I'm gonna break into his computer and read some stuff. Again, I'm just trying to recreate as much as stuff as I did on the last stream. Don't know why I need to go in there. Got a pepper spray. Nice.
Hell of a first day.
Okay, key thing doesn't have the right code. What about here? Doesn't have the right code. It's Night Killer, J. Manderly.
Reporting for duty, sir.
The man himself. Splendid. Do you accept my apologies about the situation topside?
A refreshing change from the academy, sir.
Don't despise training, my boy. Even you would be worthless without the shaping touch of drills and studies.
So the NSF took a shipment of the ambrosia vaccine? Give me a chopper and a pilot and I'll handle it.
I'm sure you could. Yes, indeed. But we're having your brother head up the recovery team. You'll work with Agent Anna Navarra. Why don't we meet when you've seen Jaime for a medical checkup and received your equipment from Sam Carter? You'll be briefed at that time.
I have my equipment, but I'll stop by the med center and come back.
Hey, who do you think you are? The Med Center and Armory are on level 3. I've got work to do. Come back when you've seen Carter and Reyes. The Med Center and Armory are on level 3.
Sorry guys, I didn't realize my mic was not recording. Sorry, I went up to get a drink. Anyways, I read this document. Basically, it talked about U.S. aircraft, like rotary aircraft, as an attempt to create a stealth plane. I think it's bullshit disseminated by UNATCO to disavow UFOs, but we'll see. What does this one say? UNATCO and the police. In carrying out their duties, UNATCO agents often work with other law enforcement agencies. We remain a small, elite organization. Until our ranks expand, we must rely on the cooperation of local police, governments, intelligence agencies, and corporate security divisions. Always be courteous when requesting information or filing an extradition request. As our jurisdiction widens, we will inevitably experience conflicts with some local officials. Do not resort to unnecessary intimidation in these situations and report any problems to the appropriate UNATCO liaison. Above all, an international law enforcement body requires the respect and support of all participating nations. Okay.
The Med Center and Armory are on level 3.
I'm gonna steal his chocolate bar. I'm gonna turn on your fucking toilets and everything because I don't think I like you very much. Let's read this book. UNATCO Handbook. UNATCO in the future. As science progresses at an ever-increasing rate, more and more advanced technology is finding its way into the hands of the common criminal, resulting in a deadly threat to life and property throughout the world. While it is impractical to restrict the free flow of information already present in the public sector, UNATCO is committed to ensuring that this threat does not go unaddressed. Even now, UNATCO Research and Development employs some of the most talented scientific minds in the world to develop proprietary technologies in absolute secrecy for field use by agents, including such innovations as the blank and blank, or the life-saving blank. Under no circumstances should agents discuss any piece of equipment or technique currently employed by UNATCO. Agents operating contrary to this directive will face immediate disciplinary action. Within our laboratories lies not just the future of law enforcement, but a safe, secure future for all mankind. A safe space. Document filtered by UNATCO Terror Monitoring Act 919-05, Section 4. Boot camp for Betty, APR Portland. Madison High School junior Betty Souza will spend the semester at Canyon City Boot Camp, say school officials. The crime? We have verified that she told another student that she knows how to make a bomb, said Principal Martin Gordley. What makes this case notable is that the parents have filed a lawsuit against the school district. Our daughter wears black, said the father, Brandon Souza, in a prepared statement. She is an occipital jack. We let her use to play games. We allowed her to get a tattoo when she turned 16. But none of this makes her a criminal. The parents claim that Betty was discussing a novel by Tom Robbins taught at Madison High when the mention of explosives occurred. Betty Souza will not be alone in Canyon City. Last year, 15,234 young people served sentences in the state's FBI-run good behavior camps, a legacy of the Northwest War.
Come back when you've seen Carter and Reyes.
Yeah, this game is so left-wing, isn't it? How do we spell it? Manderly. Was it Night Killer? Yeah. Night Killer. There we go. From G. Herman, Skullgun. Might I suggest again a skull gun for my head? Yesterday in Battery Park, some scum we all know pushes smack for the NSF, gets jumpy and draws. I take 2 22s in the flesh, in Augs, before I can get out of that damn assault gun. If I could kill just by thought, it would be better. It is my job to be a human. Is it my job to be a human target practice backstop? Gunter Herman. Our little experiment should be arriving soon. Cleared for domination/5F ops as soon as possible, but proceed with caution. We have serious concerns about the primary unit and would like to avoid any potential contamination.
I've got work to do.
So, I've been talking about a bunch of stuff right now. I'm going to go ahead and save. Talking about a bunch of stuff, and we're going to check the save. Load game, quick save. That looks about right. I don't know what I think I just forgot to quick save. I don't know. Maybe I lost my mind. But here's the thing. When I first played the game, and I said this in the first fucking recording, again, I thought it was just some tactical shooter, and, you know, just going through the UNATCO base, it was just like, UNATCO is the good guys. Because the bad guys, we have to shoot the bad guys, and I'm just gonna pull out my gun and just shoot everyone, because shooting on tactical shooter and tactical stealth, and I'd stealth and then I tactical and then stealth and then tactical and stealth and then tactical. That's how I treated the first time I played this game. But here's the thing. Now I'm playing it like an RPG. I'm playing it like a game with like a real world around it and real people, and I'm realizing, reading all these documents, that the UNATCO kind of fuckheads. So this is what I did last time. I'm not going to try and recreate the natural spontaneity of it, but what I will say is this. Fuck you. Take that stupid fucking flag and your blue helmets. You don't deserve this. You absolutely don't deserve this. So this is going here. In my office, I'm taking this. I'm taking this. Kobe. That works. And you know what else? I'm taking this. I like this. I like this little vase. Vase. Whatever you want to call it. Where are we going to put this one? I'm going to put it on the opposite corner. Kobe. Nope. That was a little high. Let's try like this. Kobe. There we go. And I want this vase too. I'll play pinball later. Give me a second. Nope. Aha! Okay, and you know what else? Do I like... I don't know, what do you guys think?
JC.
Is this one better?
Mind
or...
if I call you JC?
Fuck you. I shot him in the last episode. That wasn't recorded! You know what? I bet you this one's not recording either. I think there's a demon in my OBS software. I think I need to get it exorcised. I mean, I personally need exercise, but that's not what I'm talking about. I need an exorcism of the demon in my OBS software that stops recording whenever, like, I'm making... It wasn't gold, but it was awesome. I was really happy with it. All right, so what do we got? We got two vases. Vases. Vasi. We've got houseplant. We've got the flag. Got this. You know, I'm going to grab another plant. Why settle for one? We're going to have both. We're going to have both. Fuck it. Yeah, let's go in this corner. And what else are we doing? You know what? If this was a true immersive sim, when I come back to my office later in the game, this is all going to be here. And if it's not, I'm going to lose my fucking mind. I'm going to sue Warren Spector for, I don't know, false advertising. Or just being a goddamn legend. That's what I'm going to sue him for, being a legend. It's not really fair. Okay, what was I doing? Oh, let's play pinball. Yeah, got that out of my system. Alright, what? There was something else I wanted in my office. What was it? Ah, I know. Because I have that sick gaming PC in there. I'm going to want to bring a buddy over. And we can't really do split screen, but he can sit there in jealousy and be like, your gaming PC is so dope, it has holographic screens. I'll be like, I know, watch me play Thief. And he's like, can you play a more modern... No, I will play Thief. That's what I'll play. Fuck you. No, I just think it's funny that, like... I remember Fen Phoenix. I love Fen Phoenix. He's one of my favorite YouTubers, actually. But he had a whole bunch of videos about, like, his new rig, and I'm like, dude, all you do is play Thief 2 and Thief 2 mods. Why do you need a sick gaming rig? And now I got a sick gaming rig, and all I do is play Deus Ex, Thief 2, Thief 2 mods, Thief Gold, and I'm just like, yeah, I kind of understand now.
Shot at. Not one bit.
All right, what's his face? Let's go have this conversation. I had it before. It's boring.
Like leading a mouse to cheese.
This thing is starting to give me a headache.
Don't worry, we shut it down when you go off duty.
I guess I'll get used to it.
I'm Alex Jacobson, communications engineer.
Oh,
I suppose you already know who I am.
Getting there. You're certainly quicker on the uptake than your brother Paul ever was.
Thanks.
Sorry about that, guys. I accidentally tripped off my laptop.
Don't worry.
And its fan speeds are ridiculous, so it's gonna be super loud. And now it's gone. Oh, Grey Death, look to the sky. New York. No student of recent history can fail to miss the irony that the greatest enemy mankind has faced in the 21st century was not any despot or dictator, but the lowly microbe. Millions upon millions have been killed by the pandemics of AIDS, resistant tuberculosis, and the century flu. And now we face our greatest threat yet, the Grey Death, a plague of devastating efficiency that has surfaced in the last year. Was this plague an accident of nature or a design of science? Dr. Kenji Ishii of the New World Biomedical Health Center in New York, New World, thinks not. My analysis of this plague indicates that it is decidedly unnatural in origin and, in point of fact, may be extraterrestrial. He went on to speculate about those afflicted. Obviously, a disproportionate number of the indigent seem to be infected, a situation that makes perfect sense if you consider it a prelude to invasion. No more effective way to disrupt the social, political, and military fabric of Earth has yet been devised. So, a government or artificially or at least engineered virus being a disruption of social, political, and military fabric, not to mention economic fabric of the globe, no more effective way to disrupt said sections of society has been devised. Where have I heard that before? In 2020. Huh! If this is so, then what are our leaders not telling us, and how can we be prepared? Only they know the answers. Joe Green, senior staff writer. Alright, fantastic. Oh yeah, Gurman's password to Zeitgeist. Next week I'll be shedding for it. So I gotta find out. You know what? Let's go ahead and save. Nope. Actually, I don't need gas grenades right now, so I'm taking these out of the... And you know what? Here's the thing. This is weapon modification accuracy. I want this to have more accuracy. Weapon modification accuracy. I want this to have more accuracy. Weapon modification reload. I want this to have... Again, we're going for a non-lethal run, guys. If we can swing it, that would be fantastic. So, I think I'm thinking more in terms of, like, the modern Deus Ex prequels in this game, because all of a sudden, like, a bunch of memories flooded back to me, and it's like, you sure want to do that, bud? Because there's some parts in the game where you gotta fight some badass motherfuckers, and I don't know if you can do it non-lethally, but we're gonna try. If Warren Spector designed it, and he said it was thusly, then we're just gonna assume it's thusly. A lockpick. By electorate. That's good. We haven't gotten one of those yet. Was that worth a whole omni-tool? Or multi-tool? Fuck it, we're gonna run with it. So we did get our mods installed, right? Yeah, okay. We talked to this dude. We bullied Anna Navarro by boxing her in with her own bullshit. Yeah. Good luck going anywhere. Now, where's Gunther Herman's computer? What
I
is
am
that?
not going to hold your hand. You have your orders.
Where is Gunther Herman's computer? Because I have his password now. Zeitgeist. I think I have his usernames too.
I am not going to hold your hand.
Go ahead and save.
Thank God my ship.
What do you make more hard saves too? Hold on, I just want to check and make sure the save system is... It seems to be working correctly. I don't know what happened before. Maybe I was just being stupid. Please close the door. I only have 3 picks. I have a feeling I could get in there later. Yeah, we're not gonna fuck with it now. Let's just talk to what's his face.
Come back when you've seen Carter and Reyes.
Didn't. Oh, yeah. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Let's make another hard save. I know it's ridiculous, but I'm just... I don't know. Alright, we're in Reyes's med lab. We got all our stuff done. Let's read some stuff. UNACO Directorate Nano-Augmentation Guidelines. Nano-augmentations, once installed, irrevocably alter the physiological system they affect and in many cases cause all subsequent augmentations to be rejected. However, the exact number of augmentations each system can support varies. The various independencies between these systems can be seen in the following table. The details I think it's supposed to be that, and I think I said that the last time too. That details possible nano-augmentation combinations. Arms, combat strength, and microfibril muscles. Excuse me. Speed enhancement, run silent, EMP. Okay, so that I think that's all the augmentations. Specific nano-augmentations should be selected based on the mission profile of the particular agent. Okay, let's read this. The Matsu Gravis G4 is the newest addition to the MG line, the first foray into the medical bot category largely monopolized by Page Industries and Chung subsidiary Healtech. Unlike the competing Page or Healtech units, the MG GV-4 benefits from a completely proprietary operating system developed at MG's research campus in Prague that promises to revolutionize automated healing by combining a comprehensive medical and pharmaceutical database with MG's already proven autonomous heuristic routines. While actual field data is sketchy at this point in time, anecdotal evidence suggests that the GV-4 can heal wounds far beyond the capabilities of any other competing model, though it does require a substantial recharging period. Fantastic. And just in case you guys are curious, can't go down here. I already tested the fuck out of this. I'm taking this time.
Careful.
Nihil aliud necessitas quam vincere. Or vincere, I don't know. But it seems to be Latin. I don't speak Latin. Not since the Great War. 5x. Oh, you know what? Maybe my Q. Give me this. Can I get into his computer?
Hey, JC.
You look like the real thing. They actually let you operate on people?
Just fixed Gunther's knee, in fact. A sticky actuator. So far, I feel more like a mechanic than a doctor.
I'm impressed.
They actually let you point a gun at people.
We'll have to catch up later. I've got to leave for New York right away. Could you send Manderley whatever it is he wants?
No problem. Listen, JC. About your augmentations. You know they're preparing to roll out the technology worldwide, right?
As long as I don't turn green and grow a pair of antennas, as I understand it.
Yeah, well, the design's pretty modular, which means you'll soon have access to upgrades from standard augmentation canisters.
Great. Have anything for me?
Not yet. But remember, if you find one of these canisters, that you need a medbot for installation.
I'll do that.
The canisters contain a colloid of ROM modules. Some are generic upgrades, others require you to make permanent choices about how to configure one of your subsystems.
It's about time they implemented some of this stuff.
Report to Manderley. He told me to send you back to him on the double.
Alright. Oh, hold on. Let's grab this nano key. By the way, when you get a new nano key, just... Yeah, that's what I thought. Wait, hold on. It said I unlocked it. There we go. Don't waste lockpicks till you figure out what's going on, and that was not worth 5 lockpicks, so always keep that in mind, ladies and gents, when you're playing Deus Ex. Don't lockpick anything unless it's an absolute last resort. And don't omni-tool anything unless it's a last resort, or it just costs 1 omni-tool or less than one omni-tool. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and save, and if this hasn't been recording, it's okay, guys. I'll just commit ritual seppuku, and you won't have to deal with me and my Let's Plays ever again. So we're good to go.
What's that? Power station. The NSF have Ambrosia in a warehouse protected by cameras and booby traps. We want to power down the whole system.
We're taking one illicit generating plant, protected by weak groups of NSF. Knock out that plant, and Paul's team can walk right into the warehouse.
Just tell me where it is. The NSF are openly resisting our deployed forces, gradually falling back. You have to deal with them first.
And you be ready, Paul. When the power drops, go in and go in hard.
I'll use my discretion.
Go in like the U.S. Marshals. We lose the vaccine, I'm sending your butt to the mayor to explain why he and his 3 daughters won't get their pills this month.
Yes, sir. Let's not waste any time, JC. Get down to the dock. A boat is waiting to take you and your partner, Anna Navarro, to shore.
Yes, get moving. Here's your op bonus for the great job you did in the statue. 1,000 credits. We take care of our people around here. The bonus for rescuing Agent Herman goes to one of the troopers, though. I'm sure you understand.
Thank you, sir.
By the way, Denton, stay out of the ladies' restroom. That kind of activity embarrasses the agency more than it does you.
A couple of points to address. First of all, I went into the ladies' restroom. The fact that an NPC in a later dialogue conversation, especially my boss, reprimands me for it was kind of revolutionary at the time. That level of reactivity to the player's actions is what Warren Spector is all about. And honestly, I don't mean to rag on the dude. I love Warren Spector to some extent. I think I prefer Paul Narath and other Looking Glass employees more because I don't know, Warren Spector wasn't attached to Looking Glass for a super long time, and so he's more notable for his work with Ion Storm in this game than he is for Looking Glass. So, and I think their design philosophy was just a little bit better. But basically, I do really appreciate him.
The boat dock. Move it.
And one of the contributions he made was stuff like this. The only problem I have is that in his games since then, the games that he's worked on since this, by and large, do not have this level of depth or reactivity to the player's actions. You know what I mean? And honestly, it's not his fault. I think part of that is the fact that this was his dream game. He was given carte blanche to do whatever he wanted with this game. Literally, John Romero called him up, said just like, hey, I've got a blank check and a studio and a bunch of people, and you can also staff it with whoever else you want. Will you come make a game for me? And it can be whatever you want. Because John Romero was just swimming in money and he had a bit of hubris, but that hubris actually paid off for something like this. It didn't pay off for something like, shit, what was the name of that fucking game that he made? Well, you guys know what I'm talking about. That John Romero game. Now I'm gonna have to look it up. But anyways, he just... Hold on, guys.
Move out, soldier.
That's Facebook. Problem is, it's on the tip of my tongue.
Move out, soldier.
Daikatana, there we go. You know, unfortunately, Daikatana was also in the mix with something like this. But that was the hubris of John Romero. But, you know, honestly, I don't think that John Romero recruiting someone like Warren Spector and saying, like, oh, just do whatever you want was hubris. I think it was honestly him making a smart business move, capitalizing on someone's creativity, saying like, you're a super creative person, you make good shit, I agree with your design philosophy, here's a bunch of money, you don't have to worry, the sky is basically the limit, do what you want. And that's where Deus Ex came out of. So while I am frustrated that future Warren Spector titles were not on par with Deus Ex, it's kind of hard to compare, because it's like saying, what if the government invalidated Steam tomorrow, you know, and invalidated most of what Valve has done in the past like 20 years, and then they're just like, all right, Valve, just, all right, you're gonna have to make games again. You can't sell them anymore. You have to make them. Like,
the NSF had so many people. The NSF won't try that trick again.
Would you compare what they'd make now to something like Half-Life Alyx or Half-Life or Portal 2? Like, I don't know if you would, or Portal 1. Like, you wouldn't, because they would be under financial constraints and time constraints and all sorts of stuff like that. Whereas when they were at their best, they didn't have to worry about money as much, and they could just like push their creativity to the limit. So, you know, I honestly believe that the projects Warren Spector has worked on since Deus Ex just haven't been projects that he has had total creative freedom on. I mean, the Disney stuff especially. Like, I played most of Epic Mickey. I'm finishing up a playthrough. I'm gonna have, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna splice much of my footage together and do a review. I'm not gonna put it up as a walkthrough, I don't think. But I did record all of my gameplay.
Heard you went a little soft on the.
I used. Well, shouldn't you turn
Carter?
Sorry guys, I already talked to this guy. He just wants to sell me some more stuff. So he's either going to sell me a scope, 10mm ammo. He doesn't tell me how much, so that's kind of a shady transaction. Or tranquilizer Dutch, but he doesn't really tell me that much. But 60 credits is not the end of the world.
So much for that.
And also, it's not a scope for the rifle; it's a scope for the handgun, which is, I don't, stupid. But anyways, let's go ahead and save again. But you know, here's the thing, like, take any super creative person, super productive creative person, give them a ton of money, and they're probably going to make something really great, and then take that away from them, and they're going to have to cut corners. And also, you know, with working with Disney, like, he was looking at a different demographic. Like, here's the thing, the problem with Epic Mickey, and I think Yahtzee Croshaw has a very great critical mind, and I do appreciate his insight. I don't agree with him a lot of the time, and also one of the problems I have with him is that, here's the thing: if you're not required to play a new video game every week, some of the things that you're going to get tired of as a reviewer are things that people are fine with, because they may only play 3 to 6 hours a week, versus you having to play probably 20 to 40 hours a week of gaming. You see what I'm saying? So the things you get tired of quickly are the things that other people might be like, oh, that's pretty fun. You know, so that's one thing to keep in mind, and that's why Yahtzee doesn't seem to temper that at all. So that's one of the main criticism that I have of him, is that he's quick to judge, and also I personally, I mean, if you guys have seen any of my reviews, I'm not into 10-minute reviews. Don't tell me, like, honestly, I wouldn't even trust a 10-minute review of a movie. A movie's only 2 hours. I wouldn't watch a 10-minute review of a fucking episode of The Mandalorian. It's only 1 hour. The review is 1/6 of the runtime of the fucking episode. Okay, I might trust, especially The Mandalorian. I'm starting to have issues with that show. But no, when it comes to a game, especially a game that's not like some sort of Call of Duty campaign that can be finished in like 4 to 6 hours. No, if it's a game like the original Deus Ex, like we're playing right now, that's like a 20-hour game, or Thief Gold or Thief 2, you need to really go into in-depth analysis, you know what I mean, to really give and maybe that's just me personally, but I personally appreciate reviewers. I used to sort of take Yahtzee's word for things way back in there. I've been watching Yahtzee for like 13 years now. I don't even think he's been, well, if he's been on YouTube. I've been watching him since Fallout New Vegas came out. That was the first review I ever saw of his, and I watched it within, I don't know, a week of Fallout New Vegas coming out. So I've been watching him since New Vegas launched. That's how long I've been watching Yahtzee. And I used to take his, because I thought he does have a great critical mind. He does have a mind that's very good at pinpointing critical issues with games. But the problem I have is that his analysis has to be condensed. So there's two issues with his analysis. One is that he's forced to watch, because of his contractual obligations to Escapist for weekly reviews, he's forced to push himself through games. Like, here's my thing. My Xbox Game Pass membership was running out when I was playing Vampire. And so I only had a week left. So I had to finish up the entirety of Vampire in a week during the summer, where it wasn't really like spooky, gloomy, colder weather season, especially in Arizona. And I was kind of like, I'm not into this game right now. I don't feel like playing it because it's not the right season. It's not the right mood. It's long, so it's being repetitive over long hours. But here's the thing. Had I played it at my own pace, I would have absolutely loved every second of it. Being forced to play it within a condensed, sorry guys, I'll get back to the game here. Being forced to play it within a condensed period really changed the nature of how I played the game. See what I'm saying? I'm gonna see if there's some crates down here I can grab. It didn't change the nature of how I played the game. It changed the nature of how I experienced the game, and honestly, it started to get long in the tooth. Is that a fair criticism? Absolutely. But there's a caveat to that. There's an asterisk to that. It's just like, that's a fair criticism if you're gonna play it all day, every day, back to back for several days. It's going to get repetitive. It's going to get obnoxious. The backtracking's going to start to sort of wear you down. But if you're just playing it, like, let's say October Stars. It's a spooky Halloween-themed game with, like, vampires and, like, fantastic, like, classic Universal monster sort of atmosphere. It's a perfect game for, like, just going through, like, a brisk October, and it's got great atmosphere, and you play, I don't know, let's call it a 30-hour game throughout the month. You play, what, 7 hours a week? Right? So it's an hour a day, or maybe a 2-hour play session 3 times during the week. You break it up like that, Vampire becomes an excellent game. So that's kind of my issue with Yahtzee, and a lot of reviewers actually, is that they get stuck in their own head, in their own experience, which, you can't blame them for. Like, if your job is to review games all day, and you keep saying the same shit in gaming all the time. But here's the thing: this thing is the tropes that you see in gaming are meant to sate people that aren't playing, 40 to 60 hours of games a week. They're meant to sate people that are playing 10 to 12 hours of games a week or less, So you can't really make adequate judgments about those people, and it's a bit unfair to be as judgmental about certain gaming trends and stuff like that, I think that the other thing that people don't realize, especially reviewers, and I am playing devil's advocate here because I personally have been sick of Assassin's Creed since Assassin's Creed 2.5 or 2.7.5, whatever the Brotherhood or Revelations or whatever that. I was sick of that shit at that point. And then there was 3, and then 4, or / Black Flag, and then there was Unity, and then there was fucking, it just like went on and on and on and on. It was just like, okay guys, fucking pump the brakes. But so I do appreciate Yahtzee. Right, I do appreciate Yahtzee and his insight, but you know, I used to think like, oh well, he's really on point, but you know, you got to make up your own mind, guys. And I think also Yahtzee does not give games the appropriate, you know, that's the thing. And I think he's, as a sort of mechanism of self-preservation, I think that one thing that he has done is said like, okay, well, if a game doesn't grab me with this or grab me with that, just fuck it. You know, like he is very instant gratification with games. I mean, to some extent. I mean, he does like slow burns and stuff like that. But what I'm saying is, if the slow burn hasn't engaged him within a certain amount of hours, he's just like, fuck it, fuck this game. And I don't think that's necessarily fair, you know. So I don't know why I went on a whole diatribe about that. But anyways.
Hit 'em hard, sir.
Alright guys, let's get the fuck out of here. Sorry about this. Wasting time with this shit. I wanted to expound upon some bullshit and then we're just getting stuck here. So let's just go. Let's just go. Hopefully this has been recorded and hopefully this has been
The boat's ready.
hopefully this is the last time I'm going to do this, because I'm ready. If you guys are ready to move on from fucking Liberty, I am fucking doubly ready. Quantitatively, because I have done this already tonight. Almost 3 times, actually, because I had to, in order to make sure the recording was working, get the OBS recording happy with what was going on, and Deus Ex what was going on at 1080p and 60 frames a second at least. You know, I had to do all this shit, so we'll see.
Let's head out.
Alright, let's go. The terrorists are in a fighting retreat. A few have barricaded themselves inside Castle Clinton.
Lead the way.
Our orders are to locate a barrel of ambrosia they are hiding inside. I will give you a schematic of the barrel, but first we will exterminate the NSF terrorists.
Exterminate?
A precious opportunity we cannot neglect.
What about the rest of the shipment?
That is your brother's assignment. You will take the subway to meet him in Hell's Kitchen. But first, we should deal with Castle Clinton.
Are we going in the front, or is there another way?
A secondary entrance would be useful, but I am aware of no such thing.
Alright, let's go ahead and hard save here. I think, guys, this is going to be end of episode 1, if everything has been recording appropriately. Believe it or not, it's actually pretty late on my end. I hope to actually get further along in this playthrough, but like I said, I already did everything I showed you guys, and in much more detail, so... Oh god, I remember this kid. Leave me alone, kid. I know you're gonna tell me something horrible. Alright, well, let's talk to him.
Starving. Do you have anything to eat?
I think I do, actually.
How about some soy food?
Don't matter. I just need something in my stomach so I can fall asleep.
Here you go. Do you have a place to stay?
I sleep out on the dock where they unload the speedboats.
Speedboats? Is that how the NSF get their supplies?
I don't know. They're always coming in and out of the tunnel behind the soda machine.
Interesting.
I spy on them from the crates. The code is 9183.
9183.
Thanks for the snack, mister.
It's the least I can do.
Okay, let's go ahead and save again. And I'm gonna go ahead and check the recording. Okay, guys, so the recording has, yeah. Okay, guys, we are continuing where we left off. I'm actually powering through from the last episode. We're gonna go ahead and load this game. We just got a code from the kid on the docks here at Battery Park.
That was good.
So Battery Park's looking pretty fucked up. And this is some sort of memorial, I guess. I guess it's victims of the Gray Plague. I'm not really sure what it is. Found a Zyme vial.
Somebody kill me. Anybody?
It's a strange way to greet people. I won't kill you, sir. I'm sorry. It's against my run ethos. I don't know if you heard earlier, but I'm doing a no-kill run. I mean, if that's even possible. I'm not sure it's possible in the original Deus Ex, but we're gonna try. We're gonna see how this plays out. Can we talk to this guy? He's bleeding all over the place. Hey buddy, come back here. There's an enemy. Well, I'm not gonna kill him. I went to Battery Park before. With my wife. That was an awful reference, I'm sorry guys. Sorry you guys had to hear that. It was terrible. But it's true, I was with my wife. And it did not look like this. I remember, I think Harvey Smith was being interviewed, and he's just like, yeah, we just based all of the New York stuff off of photographs.
Don't have nobody at the side entrance. NSF could just walk away.
It's just like, yeah, we don't have anybody on. It's not like we have like people in the field or anything. We just got a bunch of photos and just tried to piece it together. It's like, oh shit. Well, that's why like the proportions are ridiculous. Battery Park is not this big, by the way. Let's talk to this guy.
No, sir. Forget about the NSF. Most of those old forts have a bolt hole. Those boys will be long gone out of side tunnel by now.
I'm not strong enough to... Well, hold on. Too heavy. .762 by 5.1. I was about to say, I don't know what that is. That's 308. That's 308, isn't it?
Don't let me get in your way, officer.
By the way, if you have a Mosin-Nagant, that's 762 by 5.4, and if you're wondering what the R on the end of that means, 762 by 5.4, R, it means that it's a rimmed cartridge, which you should be able to plainly see when you load your gun. It's a big ass rim on the end of the cartridge there, so let's go ahead and save real quick. What's going on here?
The ambrosia is somewhere inside the castle.
This is a castle? Castle Clinton? Ugh. Do I have to go in there?
We've got your back, Agent.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. Buckshot. Oh, I still have that fucking shotgun I brought. I did upgrade this. Alright, so I shot him. He's gonna pass out in a minute here. Just fucking die, dude.
Never should have transferred.
Alright, so that's a swap ammo. Another dude there. Hide in the shadows, thief-esque. I'm gonna go ahead and make a hard save here. Alright, let's approach carefully. I don't know what we're gonna face. I only got 40 skill points for that? Fuck you.
You're inside the kiosk of Castle Clinton. The bulk of the NSF troops must have gone through here to get underground.
Come on, buddy. Come talk to me. Well, whatever. Fuck you. I thought we were friends. $8 credits for cigarettes. Oh, just kill me now. Sure, I can find the code somewhere around here. Is there another dude on there? Holy crap, how many fucking dudes are there? There we go.
You a cop?
UNATCO agent. How does a little boy get mixed up with the NSF?
I just wanted to find some food, but they didn't have any. And then they started shooting at the police. Got some?
Man, I gotta give you my food, all these fucking kids. Jesus.
You can have this soy food.
You're cool.
Glad I could help.
Hey, I bet I can help you.
Yeah?
The soldiers have secret tunnels. They take boxes into the tunnel under the fort, but they never bring them back out.
What kind of boxes?
Steel. Big ones.
Thanks. Maybe I'll check that out.
Grabbing some soy food so I can interrogate more children. You know, as you do. Here's the thing, he talked about a soda machine. So Battery Park is a closed map, but there's another whole set of stuff over here. And I have a gate code for something. So let me talk to this lady.
Got 5 credits for someone who's got the Gray Death.
Sure I do.
Here you go.
God bless you.
That's it? Well, whatever. I did my good deed for the day.
Our country 'tis the sweet land of liberty, of the I sing.
You said it, brother. That's a lot of rats. I mean, I don't know. I didn't see any rats when I was in New York, but I was only there for about like 3 days, so. Oh, Jesus. I got ate up by some rats and some fires. I knew there was something in here. Give me the soy food. Man, this is depressing. Bioelectric cell. Fantastic. I can't believe my flashlight is a augmentation. Like, JC couldn't just, like, pick up a flashlight somewhere. There we go. So I can go into the Battery Park Tunnel here. I can try and go in through the myriad of other ways I've sort of discovered thus far. This whole thing is about what's... Okay.
They've got hostages in the subway station.
Don't expect me to do everything, guys.
We lost some of our men.
2 picks, not worth it. Get out of my way. Get out of my way. Take some more 40s. That is a lot of fucking beer.
The NSF seems to be falling back.
Okay, so I've checked out this little slumdog millionaire village. No, I'd be surprised if anyone even knows what that fucking movie is anymore. Yeah, 2 picks, not worth it. Alright, so let's go and save again. And some memorial. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and big save. We're gonna do a hard save. I'm gonna try and talk to these guys. Nope. It's not gonna work. Here we go. Something about the soda machine. This is where Deus Ex sort of becomes Deus Ex right here. Can't go that way? Let's try another way. Can't go that way? Let's try another way. Holy shit, what a labyrinth.
The NSF terrorists in the subway have threatened to blow up the platform. Watch for booby traps.
Big guy. He can't hide for long.
I'm actually on fire. All right. Try it again. Different routes. Dang. I may have to actually go with a kill run. These guys are assholes. That's one way. We already checked that way out last time, so. That's another way. By the way, what the fuck are my goals? Locate the stolen barrel of ambrosia. That's it? What's the stupid goals?
The NSF terrorists in the subway have threatened to blow up the platform. Watch for booby traps.
I swear I heard something.
Sir.
Who are you? Okay.
I'm dead. I'm so done.
Maybe we have a chance.
Alright. Let's load our big save again. It's getting a little too labyrinthian for my taste. Like, what the fuck is going on? Where am I? Okay, well, that's up there.
The NSF terrorists in the subway have threatened to blow up the platform.
I was hearing
Watch for
things.
booby traps.
That's him. He's a cop.
Why doesn't it... I thought a headshot would take him out immediately.
That's him. He's a cop.
Let's try this.
I got this. Get this pig.
What do I do?
Wow. I'm gonna go ahead and... You guys may remember the Jesus from my last playthrough, which was Thief. I actually took out all the fucking UNACO, or the NSF terrorists down here. That's fucking badass. And I did so non-lethally. I guess I didn't take out those guys yet, but whatever. Environmental is starting to seem like not the worst fucking, because then you can stun enemies with your fucking whatever. Let's make a new save game. I don't know if this is the best course of action, but... Wow, okay. Well, hold on.
That's it.
Just gotta stay away from. Hey!
Good work. The hostages will be all right.
Nice!
Castle Clinton and help Agent
Excellent, guys. Holy fucking shit. Nice. I'm gonna make a new save. Be like, I'm a badass. I'm a badass. That was fucking dope. Oh, I need more trank rounds. Shit. Okay, well, we're gonna run with it. We're gonna see what happens. I resolved that peacefully. Well, don't freak out, dude. Alright, let's just load. First of all, let's go into our inventory and just use as many of these as possible.
What's the situation here? You're taking over. I've got to get my team ready to raid the warehouse. What about the EMP field? Still in place. Your primary objective will be to locate and disable its power source. Probably an industrial-sized generator in a large building. I'll question some of the locals. I ordered the civilians to take cover a block south of here in the Free Clinic and at the Underworld Tavern, down on the corner. Maybe I'll start with the tavern. Why'd you have to clear the street? There's still a heavy NSF presence in the streets, and we're taking some fire. We could use your help if you get the chance. Maybe I'll do that. If you need any extra equipment, here's the key to my place at the Ton Hotel. Check the secret closet. Remember? The keypad's behind the painting. Just like the movies. Second floor, right? Yeah, and take a charger for the riot prod. We don't need another Anna Navarra shooting spree. Whatever you say. And JC, we'll be waiting for you to take down that EMP field.
Okay. Well, we got our work cut out for us. Lads and lassies, we've got our work cut out for us. Let's save it again. We're in Hell's Kitchen now. We successfully dealt with the NSF there without any bloodshed. And if we're a heavily augmented operative, that should kind of be the way it goes, right?
Mr. Renton and his daughter Sandra. We think at least one of them is still inside.
Impassable door.
Do something, man. They're gonna kill him.
Nothing. I checked his pock. Back off, pretty boy.
What'd I do? Oh.
Alright, try it again. Only got 3 darts left.
We're getting reports of a hostage situation in a Ton Hotel, which is at the southeast corner of the block. When you stayed with Paul, did you meet Mr. Renton and his daughter Sandra? We think at least one of them is still inside.
Saved that guy.
Did you see that?
Yes, I
It was uncalled for. You mug people, great. You need the dough. But you show some respect.
What were they after?
Especially when it's your ally. They came to us. They wanted an underground base.
So those guys were NSF?
Yeah, the NSF gives guns to anybody who wants to fight. A lot of people just take the guns and do what they want.
So the terrorists are based in the subways? The sewers?
They need to move some kind of secret equipment. Our tunnels are like the crossroads.
Tell me how to find this base, and I bet I can get the NSF off your back.
Underworld. Just remember that word when you see Curly. He lets people in.
Let's go check out Underworld. Got some buckshot from... Here's the thing. I'm a non-lethal guy. I need non-lethal ammunition. Also, let's go ahead and save. I'm also a basketball star. Where's the hoop? Where's the hoop? Ah! Come on, bro. Give me the ball. Whatever. No. Like, Looking Glass Studio, actually, it's pretty good physics. Holy shit. Alright, I'm gonna take one last, I'm gonna take a three-pointer. Three-point, oh, what the fuck? That was, yeah, I suck. Alright, don't worry about it, guys. I just suck, it's fine.
Back off, man.
I will back off. Don't worry. Court upholds NY grid law. New World Press, Washington, D.C. In a landmark 6-3 decision yesterday, the U.S. Supreme Court upheld the controversial grid zoning laws that have been the subject of a number of suits since being instituted 6 years ago. Originally passed by the New York legislature in 2046 in response to the Upper West Side bombing that killed 45 people and wounded over 100, the grid zoning laws effectively allowed the police to wall off regions of Manhattan and its surrounding boroughs. Foot traffic between these zones is prohibited, and traveling between zones is restricted to authorized subways or highways subject to police surveillance. A travesty, said Gil Treble, representing the ACLU as plaintiffs in the case. This law is nothing more than the legalization of social oppression on a grand scale. Supreme Court Justice Makin wrote, in his favorable decision that the unfortunate nature of American liberty is that freedom creates opportunity for terror. Hold up, guys. Hold up. I want to take a second to really analyze this statement. The unfortunate nature of American liberty is that freedom creates opportunity for terror. If this isn't the central argument of all political discourse, I don't know what is. Freedom creates opportunity for terror. Or let's supplant terror for chaos or disorder, right? True. Absolutely true. But was it not Benjamin Franklin who said, well, actually, I don't know if it was Benjamin Franklin, but this is a famous quote attributed to the revolutionary times, and even post-revolutionary. It could have been post-revolutionary, but the founding of the United States of America around that time. This is paraphrasing, of course. We're talking about dangerous freedom or peaceful slavery. And as far as I can tell, as far as from my position, my juxtaposition, that is the central argument of all political discourse, especially in the modern age. I don't necessarily agree with this statement. The unfortunate nature of American liberty is that well, okay, first of all, American liberty has not really been at play for the last 90 years. And even then, there were some asterisks. You know, it's just like, well, it's a free country. Except for women. Except for people of color. Except for, you know what I mean? Like, but, you know, we adjust, well, the country adjusted those things, you know. Women got the vote, equal representation, equal rights under the law. Okay. But the problem is, during this whole period, there was massive federalization, massive encroachment in the U.S. at least on powers that were not reserved for federal authority. Expressly by the Constitution, they took them anyway. So I wouldn't even say that American liberty is even a thing anymore. But anyways, the unfortunate nature of American liberty is that freedom now I will say this. Let's cut off the first part of that. Freedom creates opportunity for terror, or freedom creates opportunity for crime or bad things. Let's even expound it even further. Freedom creates opportunity for bad things. Yes, absolutely. I agree with that statement. Does that mean freedom is a bad thing? No. It just that means that if you want to have a free society, you have to accept certain caveats that come with it. And I think there are a large portion of us that would say that societal freedom, social freedom, religious freedom, intellectual freedom are more... Those things are more important than safety at the end of the day. So this game is really talking about, like I said, that's as far as I can tell, that is the core of all political discourse. You know, things could be better if we gave up more of our freedom, gave up more of our rights, or things could be more free and we could do what we want if we gave up more of our restrictions and gave up more of the control of the governing body. That's the central political discussion. That's it. So I think this is very telling. Let me go back to it. Yeah, the unfortunate nature of American liberty is that freedom creates opportunity for terror. It is with heavy heart that I must conclude, in this case, that freedom of individual Americans must be balanced against the needs of a community. Again, where we go with collectivism, needs of the community, needs of the politic, socialism, be balanced against the needs of a community to feel safe and secure. Yeah, okay, that's where a lot of justification for government overreach and oppression comes from, for tyranny. How do you think the Soviet Union started? On the same premise. The needs of a community to feel safe, or at least to feel prosperous, need to be secure, so that the freedom of individuals must be balanced against that. Balanced meaning overridden. And also, I'm not saying I can't see a Supreme Court judge in the United States making this decision. I'm just saying they would have a hard time defending it, because all of their decisions have to be ideally based impartially, and also based on constitutional precedent and constitutional doctrine. So with all the individual liberty overtures made in the Constitution, how could a Supreme Court justice ever put this kind of shit into writing. Although it's not unprecedented. So, sorry about that whole diatribe, but here's the thing. That's the beauty of this game. That's why I wanted to play this game. This is not Thief. This is not like get to the gold and grab the thing. I'm just having fun. I'm just having fun exploring the world of Deus Ex and doing my thing within it. Let's go ahead and save again. Well, save the basketball. You mean you don't even have any...
Personally, I don't rob them. I think it's...
Next manhole I see, I'm going underground, and I'm not coming up.
Okay, so I saved your ass, and you wanted me to get involved, and nobody has anything for me. You don't have extra crossbow bolts, you don't have shit. Fucking wasted 2 cattle prod charges on your guy. Well, I guess I have quite a bit now. But still, dude, come on, man. Fuck you. Who is this? Oh, New York has gone to fucking shit. That's what I'm saying. This game isn't necessarily cyberpunk because, like, this just looks like New York. Like, it hasn't cyberpunked itself yet. You know what I mean? It just is.
Denton. Hey, it's Denton. You want these?
What?
Give him the grenades. Look, I know he's your brother, but... Your brother gave us these things. Look at this. Irritation to all exposed mucous membranes. What's that gonna do?
Just tell Paul to give us bullets next time.
Here's one. Prolonged exposure can damage the bronchial pathways. Prolonged exposure? It's like giving them cigarettes or something.
Look, do you want these things?
Absolutely. Wait, hold on.
Keep them. Those things save lives.
Terrorist lives, you mean? You're just like your brother. If I had your abilities, people would be safe around here.
That is a lot of ammo that they keep giving me. Especially when I've sort of made it clear to the game, like, hey, game, I kind of want to go non-lethal if possible. I feel like that's where I came from. That's almost assuredly where I came from. Well, no, it's not. I came from there. That's a subway station. What is this?
Yes. Password?
Open up. I'm a federal agent.
Wow, that worked. I don't trust that that worked.
Yes. Password?
Open up.
Oh, this is Underworld. And also, that's a reference to Ultima Underworld. By the way. So we're going to go into this bar, and we're going to ask about Underworld. And I haven't played this before, I'm just guessing how it plays out. Which I guess takes a bit of the fun away, but still, it's pretty cool. Underworld Tavern. Water advisory. Residents of Manhattan and Brooklyn should be aware that last week's chlorine spill in the Hudson River now appears to have washed ashore and is interfering with the operation of at least one water processing plant. While the impact upon the city's utilities is currently unclear, water rationing rules may need to be instituted within the next week. Under no circumstances should any resident drink, bathe, or swim in contaminated water. If you or someone you know comes in contact with contaminated water, then go to the nearest available hospital or clinic. Funny story, when my wife and I got on our honeymoon, we had a hotel room at a beach resort in Tunisia, and we went to it, and the day that we were there for our honeymoon, well, the first part of our honeymoon, the beach was closed because one of the sewage pipes for the fucking hotel had, like, ruptured maybe due to corrosion or somebody's mishap or something like that, and it was spilling the raw sewage from the entire hotel into the bay that fed into the beach that fed into the hotel. So they're just like, yeah, no one can swim. So we just sat out there looking at the water. I mean, it didn't smell bad because there was enough dilution, but we're just like, I guess we can't swim. And it was like the middle of summer too. It was like July. We're just like, well, I guess we can't swim. But yeah, that's a funny story. Anyways, Brooklyn Naval Yards completes sub-pen. Brooklyn Naval Yards in a ceremony held earlier today, the venerable Brooklyn Naval Yards christened a new state-of-the-art sub-pen. New York Senator Clark Ashton was in attendance, as was industrialist Bob Page. I think he's one of the main villains or characters in the game, whose subsidiaries handled many of the contracts for the construction of the new building. This is certainly a great day for New York, said Page in a brief speech to commemorate the occasion. New York is in many ways a symbolic center of America, an example to not only the rest of the country, but the world. As long as New York remains mindful of its past, but dedicated towards realizing its future, this will never change. This building is only a small but significant step in the continual renewal of the city, and Page Industries is glad to be a part of that. Well, I gotta say, New York being sort of like a cultural touchstone for the world kind of died out in like the 1950s, 1960s. New York is a cesspit now because there's no renewal of properties, and there's like rent-controlled buildings, and there's like a very sort of incongruous mix of people that really can't afford to be there anymore, and then super hyper-inflated cost of living, and then like media giants and things like it's a fucking mess. New York is a fucking mess. And also they had an architectural sort of standard at some point, which was like Art Deco, and then they sort of like just like, well, okay, we don't need to do that anymore, just do whatever. And so the city just, it doesn't have any sort of charm. Another thing that I didn't realize upon landing in New York was I had always wanted to go there, and when I got to New York, I was just like, oh yeah, okay, it smells like car exhaust and ozone everywhere. And it does. It smells awful everywhere you go. You can't get a breath. Even in Central Park, me and my wife went deep into Central Park, and we couldn't get a breath of fresh air the entire time. It was just like suffocating the entire time. So I don't know. I mean, New York was fun to visit, but I would never live there in a million years, and it's got some serious fucking problems. But anyways, Battery Park closed until further notice. Due to unidentified terrorist action, Battery Park will be closed to all unauthorized personnel until further notice. Local police, working in conjunction with UNATCO agents, are currently in the process of dealing with the threat, and according to UNATCO head Joseph Manderley, the situation is strictly minor, but at any time the potential exists for civilian casualties. We must proceed with caution. Okay. Be safe, be suspicious. Terrorism has become an unfortunate fact of life, not only in New York, but the country at large. Well, I don't know about that for the U.S. anymore. I think domestic terrorism has become more of an issue between riots and mass shootings and stuff like that. Yeah, it's become more of a domestic thing. But international terrorism in the U.S., I'm not a proponent of the Patriot Act, and I'm not a proponent of all the TSA regulations, but at least they can put the feather in the cap and say, like, yeah, international terrorism is not that big of a deal in the U.S. anymore. So, but anyways, let's go into this. Country at large, a direct assault on our communities and our way of life that leaves citizens struggling to find answers to difficult questions, not the least of which is, what can I do to prevent such atrocities? How can I help? Quite simply, terrorism is successful because terrorists are able to pass unnoticed and unremarked upon, but they fail to count on the best intelligence network ever devised, the American people. There we go. Snitch your neighbor out. Spy on your neighbor. I've dealt with some of this personally. Some of my, well, not snitching and terrorism, but some of my neighbors were not happy with truck I was restoring in my driveway, and they called the zoning authority of our county on. They gave us a deadline to have the truck mobile by. Thankfully, they were actually very reasonable people. I dealt with them personally. They're very reasonable, but the strictures that are on their website are not reasonable. So it's up to the discretion of the agent working on your case, your zoning case, to be reasonable or not. And thankfully, our zoning guy was. He was a pretty chill dude. But the actual laws passed in our county are not reasonable, and they could have totally fucked me over on this fucking thing. So, yeah, my neighbors snitched me out to the zoning board just because they didn't like seeing a truck in my driveway. Fucking assholes. And the fact that they got away, I mean, in the land of the free, right? Right? This is supposed to be the United States. This is supposed to be in the land of the free. In the land of the free, if you have a truck in your driveway and people don't like it, they can call the government in on you. And you may actually have to answer to somebody, which is what pissed me off. So, now here's the thing. I've dealt with local government enough to know that, by and large, they can be reasonable. When you're dealing with parking tickets and stuff like that, it's really a toss-up. You need to plead with a judge as much as possible. The fact that you should have to plead with a judge for this kind of stuff is frustrating, but if you plead your case, most times the judge will be like, yeah, alright. As long as you're a reasonable person. Most times the judge will be like, alright, you're not an asshole, that's fine, right? And even the local government, most times will be like, you're not an asshole. But still, that's not the issue. The issue is not, and here's the thing. Me and my wife live in Tunisia, so I also live in Tunisia. I live in the U.S. and I also live in Tunisia. We go back and forth. So we also live in Tunisia, and the Tunisian cops have authority to basically do anything. They can search your vehicle, they can do whatever, they can do whatever, basically, right? But they're nice people, so they don't fuck you. The problem I have is, the thing is it's not about what happens, it's about what could potentially happen based on precedent of the law, right? What my particular county where I live says is possible for me, these infractions, quote unquote, is severe. They could fuck me over for life. What the Tunisian police, when I'm with my wife in Tunisia, could do to us is severe. It's severe. They could fuck us over for life. And just because they don't right now doesn't mean they won't, because they have the ability to. So as long as someone has the ability to, you can never count on them not doing it. So that's the problem I have with people, is they don't, just like my wife, she's just like, well, yeah, we live in sort of a police state, but it's fine because everyone's cool. And I'm just like, yeah, you don't understand the principle of precedent. Precedent is dangerous. Precedent means that they can and potentially will do these things in the future. They have in the past. They don't do it now because they're staffed with nice people. Should those nice people have a change of heart or get replaced, who knows what could happen? You know? So you basically, you need concrete laws in place to protect you from people like that. You can't just rely on being like, well, it's not like that now, so it's fine. I guess it's one of my basic issues with when some people talk about, like, well, I'm not going to get into that, so we're not going to get into that, but you see what I'm saying, right? Precedent is dangerous. Do not, just because things work right now, because people are kind-hearted with how they deal with that system, does not mean that's how they will be. You have to anticipate the worst possible personalities occupying positions of authority and looking at these regulations and saying, like, oh, we can do this. We can take it this far with impunity. And that's how you have to look at how laws are passed, because laws are precedent. Changes in laws are precedent, and when you set that precedent, it doesn't matter how people, like I said, just because the zoning board guy was very cool with me, he didn't have to be. He could have thrown the book at me, as we say in the States. He could have thrown the book at me and fucked me royally, right? Because the law allows him to. It doesn't matter about what I'm doing is wrong or right, or even keeping with the tenets of just basic independence and liberty, right? It doesn't matter. That's the law on the books. He could have fucked me over. And while I am grateful for him being nice to me, I don't feel like I should have to lick the boots of some fucking asshole who's part of the fucking local government just to fix a truck in my yard. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Anyways. Quite simply, terrorism is successful because terrorists are able to pass. Oh yeah, we were dead. Stranger, foreigner, and a stranger or foreigner. Oh, argument. Wow, argumentative, especially about politics or philosophy. There we go. Well, that's me right in the second line. Probing questions about your work, particularly high tech. Might be me. Spends a greater than average amount of time on the net. That's. I think the people. This is the Looking Glass employee lineup right here. Interest in chemistry, electronics, and computers. Yep. Large numbers of mail order deliveries. Yep. Taking photographs of major landmarks. This is just what Looking Glass employees were doing, or Iron Storm employees were doing, so they just put that in there. And those are just a few. If you're suspicious, then turn them into your local law enforcement for a thorough background. So that's what I'm saying. Like, if you don't pay attention, if you're just like, I just want to play the game like a shooter, UNATCO's going to seem like the good guys, or at least the guys. The more you delve into it, the more you realize, like, man, they're fucking assholes. Anyways, sorry about that long diatribe. We saved. Let's talk to people in here. There's not going to be... Yeah, we're not going to worry about that. Steal all this liquor and wine and stuff. It's mine. It's clearly like whiskey or something. Looks like good whiskey.
Dealer. We're talking about your wife, the Grey Death.
I don't know. If I gave it to her, and it was cut.
Jojo's good for it. People know him. He'd be hanging from a streetlight if he was selling bad vaccine. Hey, Shay, Cape Cod. Use a little vodka this time. Coming up.
Guess I have to do something.
Who is this guy? Look at him. He looks like me. He's all fucked up.
Mind if I ask you a few questions?
Hey, you look like the vigilante type. What if I said I knew where you could load up on military hardware?
Where's that?
That's valuable information. You'll have to come up with some kind of payment. How about liquor?
I have plenty of that.
You can have this beer.
That one's warm. Get me something from the bartender.
Fuck you, dude.
What can I get you?
You work here, you must know the area. Heard of anyone hiding a large generator?
Not exactly. But if it's anywhere, it's probably in the warehouse district.
Where's that?
A few blocks south. Not a bad walk, but the riot police have blocked the roads because of the NSF.
I'd like to check it out.
Well, you may be out of luck. Even though one of the old warehouses faces onto the park, I don't know how you get inside.
Sounds like a good place to start.
Something to drink. Everything in the bar, snacks too, just 10 credits.
That's some heavy augmentation.
Yeah. Ask UNATCO. What's it to you?
I'm in the business.
Well, I was in an early program, okay? I can still polish a glass. Good luck with your business.
Oh, did I offend this her highness here? Oh my god, I did.
What'll it be?
How about a soda?
There you go.
What do you have for me?
You can have this beer.
I want one of Shay's ice-cold brown bullets. You too cheap to buy?
The tap's out. Only bottles.
Beer, please.
You better get rid of some gear if you want to carry anything else.
For reals, dog. Yeah, I guess so. Alright, what do I got in here I can get her out of? Well, I don't need these. Let's try that.
Shoot.
Beer, please.
You better get rid of some gear.
How does a beer take up 2 inventory spots? Seriously. Alright. Let's check my health. Okay, yeah, alright, so.
Beer, please.
You better get rid of some gear.
Are you? What the fuck could the fucking? I'm gonna kill you, you stupid bitch. What in the fuck? Hold on. Look, I've got an entire wine bottle. I've got a vineyard in my inventory. How is that? Oh, you stupid. All right. So we're gonna drop these two. What the fuck is this? Oh, I'm gonna keep that.
Shit.
Beer, please.
You better get rid of some.
Excuse me? Oh, I see now. Never mind. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. Oh, super drunk. I'm so drunk. Well, if I'm drunk, I'm gonna... you don't even... I mean, whoa. Yeah. Yeah, I'm drunk. I'm too drunk. I'll be okay. Alright, I didn't know what was going on. It's my first time really getting into Deus Ex, guys. I'm totally fucked. Oh my god, so drunk. So wasted. Where's the bathroom? I feel like JC needs to puke. No, we're gonna play pinball. I'm gonna go talk to hotties. I'm attractive now. Come here. Let's talk to you.
Joe Green, Midnight Sun. Glad to know you. What can you tell me about what's going on?
Wrong gender, but...
Sorry, regulations prevent me from talking to the press. Regulations, huh? So you are part of the crackdown. Like I said, I have nothing to say. Too stylish for the National Guard? Too athletic for NYPD? You must be from UNATCO. I really can't be bothered right now.
Well, talking to that piece of fucking stale toast really sobered me up. So I understand what I did wrong now. I don't need those cigarettes as far as I know, but I will take these bottles of liquor. Just in case. And what the fuck is this? This is a 40. I thought I drank all those. I guess not. Alright.
The tap's out. Only bottles.
Let's buy one. Beer, please.
Beer, please.
There you go.
There we go. It's a whole 40. That's not a beer. That's like 3 beers.
What do you have for me?
You can have this beer.
That'll do. His name's Smuggler. Real paranoid nut. Wires himself in with booby traps, but he knows things. There's stuff in the sewers that only Smuggler knows about.
Thanks. Maybe I'll pay him a visit.
Now I'll tell you something you can't hear from anybody but me.
What's that?
Area 51. You heard of it, right?
Actually, I'd rather hear whether you know anything about a warehouse with an illicit generator.
I worked out there. Most people think they got aliens from another planet, but I didn't see any flying saucers. You want to hear about it? I'll tell you. For the price of a beer.
I guess we'll get this guy another beer. I want to hear about it. I don't know about you guys, but I definitely want to hear about it. I want to hear some more about some Oleans. Another beer.
Beer, please.
There you go.
What do you have for me?
You can have this beer.
I appreciate it. Yep, I know for a fact it's not just for government research. I've seen all kinds of executives coming and going.
I'm sure plenty of bureaucrats fly out there.
Billionaires, big executives. I think the whole place has been taken over by a private corporation.
Not likely.
Something's going on underground. I'm a pilot, which means I didn't get any access to the main complex. But a lot of rock comes out of there. It's some kind of mine. But what I don't understand is why they're always laying more fiber optic cables.
A pilot? What do you fly?
Copters. You know what I think? I think that's where the UN moved Echelon 4 back when they promised they were going to stop spying on people.
Surveillance is a very distributed technology. To centralize it in one large facility would be very unusual, even for the UN.
I bet they did it. They want to centralize everything. Every computer on the planet.
It's still going on, isn't it? They're shooting people right outside the bar. Hey, you with the troops? I need help.
What's the problem?
Actually, it's my friend. Johnny took her into the alley west of here, across the street.
That's an ambush.
Slow down. Who's Johnny?
I got a bad feeling about this. He was mad. He gets crazy when he's mad.
Don't worry. I'll check it out.
That's an ambush. We're so fucked. Because we're trying to go for no kill. And that's going to be clearly an ambush.
Stay out of the time, bro. Bad shit going down.
Well, I think I'll climb up the ladder regardless. Really? I think this is Paul's apartment. It looks like Paul's apartment. Let's go to Dick Shy. Yeah. I'm so clean. Even this floor is disgusting. Look at this. CIA Factbook 2050 Hong Kong. Economic overview. In the decades since Hong Kong has been returned to Chinese control, it has seen its economy thrive under newly resurgent authority of the Chinese central government. Led by a thriving technological market and human augmentation technology, the real GDP has peaked every year since 2041, with all forecasting models predicting that this trend will continue well into the next decade, if not beyond. However, the statistics do not present an entirely accurate depiction of the state of the Hong Kong economy, as they fail to depict the flourishing gray and black market that operates with at least the tacit approval of the Beijing regime. While political opposition continues to present a major and ongoing problem to those living under Chinese rule, entrepreneurism is alive and well in the form of organized crime, as has always been the case. Anything and everything can be had for a price in Hong Kong. Many of these criminal organizations can trace their lineage directly to the tribes that have existed for thousands of years throughout China and Southeast Asia. Check our skills. 2510. That's not nothing. Could upgrade something, but let's see what else we got in here. Quick note, if you need any help with work, check the painting on the wall and count back from 4. Gotta run P. That's Paul. Vishnu's Fall, a brief history of the Indian crisis. After the bombing, Indian officials released a series of stern warnings to Pakistan that were rebuffed with denials of responsibility and dire threats that any attempt to use the bombings as a pretext for military action would be met with force in kind. From the viewpoint of the present-day historiographer, this was a crucial event, a game of brinkmanship that had been played between Pakistan and India many, many times before. So, while tragic, it is also easily understood how clear signs of impending catastrophe might have been ignored. Like two kids shoving each other on the playground, said historian Alastair Brooks, you never expect them to come to blows. This was before Pakistan began the trials of Calcutta I-6, and both I-6 or 16, and both nations descended into a maelstrom of political upheaval that would eventually culminate in the exchange of nuclear warheads. Well, I didn't know India had access to nuclear warheads. I don't think they did. In the context of this story, I guess they do. Unlocked. Alright. Work backwards from 4. So 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, nice. Hey JC, didn't have a chance to get your own net account, so feel free to use mine in the meantime. Login is P Denton. Okay. And the password is CHAEMCHA. Excuse me. CHAMELEON. Sorry. Because I probably can't spell chameleon on my own. Oh. Make yourself at home and I'll see you soon. Alright. Ballistic armor, nice. P. Denton. Okay, Sweet Charity. Subject, miss you. I left a message on your machine, but I wanted to follow up. With both of us traveling, it's hard to get together, isn't it? I miss you so much. I'll make it up to you when we get back. Oh, wait, your brother's staying with you, isn't he? Well, just wait until you're alone. We'll work things out, promise. Kisses. Kavork Inc. Spam. Tired of life? Hello, friend. Has life become too impersonal, too tedious, too painful for you? Then now is the time to exert control. To make the decision which is ultimately the only real choice we ever have. The decision to die. Oh, shit. Some may describe this as an act of selfishness, but with the dwindling reserves of natural resources throughout the world, you're actually contributing to the well-being of all those around you. A recent bill passed by the United States Congress even authorizes a one-time payment of $10,000, and there's a C in front of it, to your chosen benefactor upon passing away. So do yourself, your family, your friends a favor and visit any one of the Kavork Inc. clinics in a neighborhood near you. Will help you make a difference quickly and quietly. Sincerely, Derek Schmidt, Director of Development. Oh my god. Subject, settled in yet? Hey JC, thought I'd help you unload your boxes, but I'm tied down trying to get one of the medical analyzers working. Damn thing nearly lasered off one of my fingers. Catch you later for a beer, maybe, Jamie. Network Administrator. Subject, your results. Do not reach the following recipient. Did not reach the following recipients. 1 on Wednesday, unable to deliver message due to communications failure. New York Net. Okay, message as follows. I'm definitely worried about the test results. There are some implications there that I'm afraid to pursue too much further. I'll talk to Tracer. Proceed with caution. P. Subject, account verification. Mr. Denton, we've received your order for Blue Harvest and see you next Wednesday at your earliest possible convenience. Please remit CLL0, at which point they will be shipped immediately. Thank you for your business. Well, Blue Harvest is Return of the Jedi, but I don't know what the C next Wednesday is. That's probably code for a meeting time. Okay. Don't like the sound of those dudes outside. Well, we'll go out the back. We'll go out the way we came in.
We'll take it from here.
Former Commander Phrase, UNECO has regrouped more quickly than expected at the beginning, a coordinated assault on our position along with local police. They will certainly overrun our defenses eventually, but they may be delayed until the next phase of the mission can be completed. Your men will be responsible for guarding the tunnels leading to the generation station. Dig in and arm all available automatic defenses. I don't need to tell you what's at stake. Good luck, JL. I think these are UNECO guys, right? Yeah, they laid these guys out.
All clear. We took them out.
There's a free clinic here.
What I'm telling you, girl.
You said I didn't have to. Make Janie do it.
I already took the money. And when it's JoJo and it's something he wants, you gotta do it. You and me both, baby. We helpless.
We were just gonna hang out today.
I told you how it don't play with me, this amateur unprofessional bullshit.
Johnny.
If it's business, it's business. If it's us two hanging out, then we hang out. Right now, it's business.
I want out, Johnny. I didn't know it would get like this.
Put it this way. You in it. You want out is like a daddy. You get beat out.
Thanks.
Sucks to get backed into a corner.
I was trying to find the back way into smugglers.
Right. The weapons dealer.
Hey, you shouldn't have took down Johnny. Soon as Jojo finds out.
Who's this Jojo?
You can't touch Jojo. He doesn't go out, and there's only 2 ways to the warehouse.
Warehouse?
You think he can sneak into Osgood's at the park, but in the first place, it's locked.
Looks like the fighting in the park has died down.
And if you go underground, he's got laser tripwires, drone guns, military-type stuff, plus there are guards on the roof.
Tell you what, I'll handle Jojo. You stay out of the way until the NSF have pulled back.
I can take care of myself.
Okay, guys, well, for me, it's getting a bit late. I'm gonna go to bed, I think, right now. And honestly, I was hoping to get more gameplay done with this episode of the Let's Play, but that was largely an issue due to, as I said before, I had issues with, I played the first part of the game and it wasn't recording, so, anyways, we're going to go ahead and make a hard save here, and that'll be the end of the first, I'll try and group everything together. That'll be the end of the first episode. The training will be a separate episode in case people don't care or don't want to play it. I'm just going to check real quick here.
Yes. Password?
Open up.
I guess I still don't have the password. I thought I would get the password through Underground, so I'll check that out later. So we'll be checking that out next stream. I want to do some more investigation into this part of the city to try and really figure everything out. And then I may actually go into the apartment buildings here, but we'll see. I don't know for sure. Alright guys, well, thank you again for joining me on this Let's Play. And I think that'll be it for me today. Thank you.